All right, we are live.
All right.
Hello.
Didn't mean to do that.
Hello. It's Halloween. Hello. It's Halloween. Been watching non-stop Halloween shit, y'all.
In June?
It's all Griffin wants to watch is Halloween shit.
He's gonna be tired of
Wild.
Halloween by the time Halloween arrives.
Well, hopefully far sooner than that.
Is there another holiday you can get excited about instead?
Come on. Halloween's the only holiday worth getting excited about.
It's time for Christmas.
No, fuck that. Boo. All right, I'm gonna put on some Space Marine shit, but it's too long. So you skip to gameplay, and we're not actually gonna watch the whole thing. Does
Are
that
we
work?
actually live? Because I don't
we're
see
live.
them. Oh, you just have the thing up again. You fooled me again.
We can just start if y'all want. Definitely.
Let's do it, Chris Davis.
Okay,
Just
one
let me
second.
know.
Put us on the screen.
All right, 1 second.
Keep falling for it.
Oh wait, no, I didn't want to share that. Wrong thing.
Motherfucker!
Pornography.
No!
I'm hearing myself.
How do I get
normal?
out of this?
There you go. All right.
Testing. Okay, that's better.
You're still showing the playlist. Is this what you want to see? Show?
Well, I haven't clicked on it yet. Hang on. I gotta.
Oh, okay.
No one's here yet, anyways. Also,
Okay.
are we supposed to be able to see see on the stream yet? Because I can still only see we're not live.
I haven't pushed it.
Yeah.
I haven't switched the slide on the OBS.
Oh, well, you should do that because I just sent a message out saying we're live.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Yeah, let's go live.
All right, well, 1 second. I gotta have my thing.
I
Like,
thought
one
you
or
were
two people
pulling the
might have to-
trigger.
All right, and I do this. For Vixie, thank you. It's very kind of you.
For Vixie, 74 fucking months. Fucking see it.
Oh, I know. We need to watch the So we watch the Mina thing afterwards. It needs to be at the top in trailer talk.
Watch the what?
The Mina thing.
Oh,
Let's.
yeah.
We got to talk about it for trailer talk. Hold on. I'm gonna drag it up. Can you drag it up, or I can do it. I can do it if you want.
Go ahead, do it.
Oh, does it not let you do it? Not here. I'll do it.
Just do it. So I have never seen a second of Mina the Hollower footage.
Oh, you dumbass! You're telling me when I drafted that you didn't even bother to look it up?
He had no idea what it was.
I had no idea. It sounded like some dumb shit. So
Wow.
I'm kidding.
No,
I have no idea.
It's
Probably another animal well.
Oh,
Yeah,
you'll
well, I
see.
mean, it's a very different kind of thing.
Well, I know,
It's
but
at the
like-
top. You can start with Mina.
Okay. All right.
It's biddable. You're free to bid on. Mina.
Yeah, bid on it because you dropped it. All right.
You didn't. Oh. Here we go. Okay.
I know.
Welcome to trailer.
Let's fucking go.
What happens when you take Link's Awakening and add a little bit of Castlevania
Looks like
and
Cuckoo Bud.
modern movement and shit? Oh, this game's so good, y'all.
So this is
I can't stop smiling every time I see this. You'll see. This is a little like intro trailer, but then the fool talks about it a little bit more.
It's certainly. Oh, it's good. There's gonna be like a talking head in this video.
Yeah, but he could skip through that a little bit if you don't mind. Just skip. There you go. Start there.
Mina is our next game.
Damn, look at the
to feature
timing.
Classic gameplay.
Look at the whip.
Teeming with
okay.
befitting of our modern
This feels like,
era.
honestly, this feels like. So this is from the
Yeah,
developers of Shovel Knight. This is
you
like
find
their
the most
next
potent
main project that they've been
version
working on
of
for
top-down
some time now.
A world besieged with
They
mystery
kickstarted
And
like
it's-
3 years ago.
They're just making an old school Zelda game, but with like awesome controls and You know, it's just.
Inspired by the glory of our favorite 8-bit.
I don't see how anyone could love like Link's Awakening and not look at this and be like, "This is gonna be the goat."
We'll need to master a plethora of weapons and trinkets.
I mean,
No comment.
Vanquish
it's frustrating too because like,
darkest secrets.
well, I don't know, Nick, you're not old school Zelda
More
fan.
than 2
I mean,
years
I played,
not, really.
I played A Link to the Past and I liked it well enough, but you know me. I'm just
unleashing its existence.
I played it I didn't play it when it came out, so my appreciation for Link to the Past is
But
not
but,
the
but
same
you
as
can't
everybody
even you can't even see it when you look at this. You can't even see it. Capital A. You're not understanding like, well, okay, well this is instant indie classic by looking.
Well, no. First of all, pause. That's not true. I can tell this is going to be an indie class. No, I mean I can tell. I can see it. It just doesn't mean the same thing to me as it does to you.
Hello, Crispy.
Oh well, it doesn't yet. Of course, wait. Here's what will happen. This will come out and it'll get like, 9s and 10s, and you'll be like, okay, I guess I'll try it, and then you'll fall in love, and that's fine. It's gonna happen to a lot of people. Just because you don't.
I mean, but like
see
that was
it
also
the same way I
supposedly
do.
going to happen. That was also supposedly going to happen with Shovel Knight, and it didn't happen with me.
What are you talking about? Oh, but Shovel Knight is like, but see, Shovel Knight's a very different thing. I mean, that's Mega Man. This is Zelda. I this is not only is that more like there's no reason Mega Man ain't around no more. It just didn't have as much of a. I don't think it resonated as much outside of
probably true.
Its
probably
its
true.
heyday, or even in its heyday. It ain't no fucking Zelda.
Look, I'm sure I'll play and appreciate it. Just it probably won't be
you
a
gotta,
goat.
You gotta watch that. You gotta watch that closer. You be dumb.
I mean, okay. Moving on.
Maybe it's the graphics. I don't know.
Probably. I certainly don't have the same level of appreciation
Wow.
for the graphics as you do.
What? Wait,
I don't
what are we
think that.
talking
I don't
about?
think. Mina the
We're watching. We just watched Mina the Hollower. Nick's like, I don't see it, and I'm like, that's
No,
crazy.
you're the only person here saying I don't see it. I see it. I think, and I.
Well, no,
I,
no,
You
but
don't feel it. But you don't feel it, Nick.
I don't feel it.
He doesn't feel it. He doesn't feel it. But I'm saying, like, how do you look at that and go, well, this is obviously my
We should
shit.
pause because now we're still talking about Mina. All the way
with
here.
ally.
We're just eating into
Well-
Dragon Quest. Get it out. What else do you want to say? I mean, like, I just
Do you think like it's obviously trying to capture like Game Boy Color graphics? Do you think
Sure.
that's going to hold this game back for people like you? I mean, people who care more about graphics than people who maybe have nostalgia for those visuals.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like I said, I played all the way through A Link to the Past. I did it on the feed. I really enjoyed it. But there is no world in which I was ever going to.
Under duress.
No, but you
let's
don't
be
understand.
honest.
I could play that today, and I'm confident. There's no chance in hell that would ever become my favorite Zelda game of all time.
No, I'm not asking for that to happen, Jesus. But
Well,
you
I'm
know,
just saying, like, a lot of people look at me and go like, what do you mean Link to the Past is not your favorite Zelda game of all time? And it's just like, what do you want me to say? I didn't play it until I was like in my 20s.
For one, I think you could play Link to the Past today and like take your time with it and absolutely fall in love with it.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be your favorite.
I'm not even saying I don't love it. I'm just saying I don't have the same reverence for it. It's not the obvious like goat.
You obviously can't love it. Like you did not play it in a situation where you would love that game. That's crazy. I was there in that building with you. You wanted to jump out of the fucking window, Nick.
But
and that's fine. You were being forced to get through the entire thing on a marathon, and that was wearing on you mentally. I get it. That would happen to anyone. I played Alan Wake in that scenario, and maybe that's why I don't love Alan Wake as much as some other people. But
like I would never sit here and tell you that I don't like or even love Link to the Past.
I know, but I'm saying I get it. You respect.
We need to move on.
I mean, that's
yes, of course I respect it. I think Mina the Hollow will be great. I'm sure it'll be great. I am not immediately thinking to myself, oh my god, this is game of the year potential for me. Looking at that,
but is it like the gameplay is some impressive shit?
Sure. Let's
like
move
the
on.
movement and stuff. Like,
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
know.
The movement.
I wanted
thing,
you responding
see.
too much to the visuals. Oh.
The movement thing I don't see. Like to me, it just looks like any other game of that.
I think the problem here, Brad, is that Nick never played a Game Boy Color game, so he
Excuse
doesn't
me?
know like the. I mean,
I
no,
owned a Game Boy
also,
Color.
no Game Boy Color game on the planet moves like Mina the Hollower.
no.
I mean,
What I'm saying is he doesn't have the context or the limitations of that system. So like
I swear
that
to God, I
kind
thought you were
of
about to say he doesn't have the mental capacity. Okay,
no.
all right, what about Dragon Quest? This is a game where they tuned up the visuals for a modern chap like yourself. Except, you know, the HD2D.
I have yet
You
to
were
ever
gonna
finish
call
a
him a
Dragon
modern
Quest game.
gentleman and then changed your mind and called him a chap.
That's true. He is no fucking gentleman. So this is an NES, a Famicom, you know, NES as Dragon Quest game with the HD 2D visuals.
I mean, I really like HD 2D visuals, but I've
This
also
motherfucker. See, here's the thing. If you played this, you'd be like, this would not even make your top 10 list, even though you might be getting a half mass from the visuals. And I know Mina the Hollower would be your shit, and you're reacting to the visuals, Nick.
No,
You
look,
Prince
look,
of Persia hating motherfucker.
You didn't let me finish. I also don't. I've never completed a Dragon Quest game in my life, even though I've
No,
tried many
and this-
times. Like it's
And
like
this ain't
even,
the one. I mean, this is a remake of 3, an NES one. I mean,
That's
it's got
why
nice
I'm-
visuals, and it is beloved. It is beloved.
That's
But
why I'm
saying,
not sitting here saying I'm gonna play the shit out of this.
No, I know. I'm saying don't be fooled by the visuals. This one ain't it for you, Nick. But Mina,
I'm not saying
Mina's
fool
for
by-
everyone. Mina, Silk Song should be afraid of Mina. You don't understand.
That seems outrageous to me. But
Also, how much Shovel Knight did you play? That you talking crazy over there?
like 3 hours, and then I was like, I can't do this. This is not me. This is not for me. This is a game that is I respect and is clearly made for somebody, but that person is not me.
wow. But you
know.
played through Gravity Circuit or whatever.
I know,
that
and I
game is.
fucking love Gravity Circuit.
you just-
Don't ask me. Don't ask me, man. Maybe if I went back and
All right,
played.
I'm talking to Crispy.
Shovel
How's your
Knight-
day, Crispy? I
God
can't talk
damn
to this man over here.
Oh,
This is
okay.
this has Matt Berry in it. This is
Wait, what? That game?
yeah. This game's gonna be fucking funny.
Oh,
Turn on
Dragon
your
Quest
screen.
3?
No, turn on your.
It is. My fucking feed is.
You should be
lagging.
watching this in Discord.
We're watching it in Discord.
Yeah.
Click on the.
What game? Oh, this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game. What's it called?
Untitled Goose Game developers.
I fucking love that Matt Berry is just like doing whatever voice work comes his way. He's so good.
This is the Untitled Goose Game devs.
Is it an actual video game?
Yeah.
It's like a adventure game, you know.
Sorry, that was a little jab at it. That was a little jab at the Goose
I was a little
Game.
catty. A little bitchy.
Goose Game. I don't love Goose Game. I tried playing that shit with my kid, and
You know, if you watch Dancing with the Stars, right? There's like the main theme of Dancing with the Stars. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like, and then there's a point where like a voice goes, "Hey!" like in the song.
Yeah.
That "Hey" is Matt.
Is Matt Berry. That's funny. I remember that clip came up for me on Instagram the other day. Yeah.
That's so fucking funny.
He was telling that to people in like a Zoom call, and they were like, "Wait,
Yeah.
what?"
Yeah, and then they like found the clip of it. Like, yeah.
Hey, you know, I've been hearing. I know reviews are. I feel like Monkey Ball just reviews soft, and that's fine. But people, I'm saying, people who are playing it out of like SGF and shit, were saying like Monkey Ball's back, man. They've been saying it's been half-assed for a long time, and this feels like the first
Did I miss
good effort
something?
in a long time.
When did they announce a new Monkey Ball?
Literally in that Nintendo Direct. Well, it wasn't even announced, but this was in that Nintendo Direct you watched.
I mean, to me,
Like,
it
it's
feels
out,
like
I
hard to
think.
tell whether it's an actual new Monkey Ball game or if it's just more of the same.
Y'all sound like people not paying attention, but I'm saying what I'm telling you is the info that you need to listen to, and they're saying this one is the real deal. That's what I've been hearing. I like Monkey Ball. I feel like the world used to love Monkey Ball, and then what happened? And then they stopped trying hard with making Monkey Ball games. But I'm saying what I'm hearing is they've been trying with this one. I don't know. I'm
Look, man.
pretty hot on.
I tend to pay. I tend to pay pretty close attention. I just maybe I've had a rough month and I missed it.
You
I don't know what to tell
Ball
you.
had a rough month.
Ooh, look at this! Look at this plate of fresh meat.
Okay.
Now this is my jam.
Yeah, Nick knows his.
It's early
lane.
access,
I
though.
get
It's
it. I
automatically
get
not your
it.
jam.
I was kidding.
This thing's been in early access forever, and like the people who play it, this is like overwhelmingly positive, but the recent reviews are like, "Fuck you." It's like, what's taking so long? Finish your game. We want this game. And this is a trailer for like, I think, like an update, like a big update or something maybe. And people are still not happy. People want this game so bad. But like, the developer doesn't do enough updates, and people are just kind of worried. I think.
Bognoy says he played this like 3 years ago. I'm gonna say it sounds very familiar. Wait, they're already. Wait, this is a named update. Like it sounds like an expansion, like a DLC to Paris City for a game that's still in early access.
Early access always kind of names their updates like that.
Yeah, they do.
Like.
Okay, that seems.
So I'm saying people are like, this shit ain't enough.
Okay, Brad, we need to talk. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still happening.
Yes.
And they're apparently updating this anniversary edition to include content.
That's kind of what they're.
How much you want to bet, though? How much you want to bet when they finally decide to unveil Beyond Good and Evil 2 again? It looks absolutely nothing like that thing we saw years ago.
I have no fucking clue. That wasn't a video game, so literally it could be anything, right? I have no idea.
I think it's reasonable to suggest that it'll be more of a direct sequel than an actual whatever the fuck that was.
It should just look like a sequel to this. Like, it should just be this, like, but modern.
I mean, this game came out in like 2003, though. Like, what does that even mean?
This is like a post 9/11.
No one makes
what?
What you understand? Like this game, what Mina the Hollower looks like to you?
Stop talking
like,
to me, the Hollower.
Is it like what this looks like to like a young person?
Dude, that's what it looks like to me.
They're like, what is this bullshit? I don't want a video game that's just this. They're like, this is hard to look at.
First of all, you're the one who brought Mina the Hollower into this again, not me. I've moved on with my life.
You should be welcoming that fucking mouse into your life, you dunce.
Look,
you're gonna.
I want Beyond Good and Evil 2 to come out and look like a really nice sequel to Jack and Daxter. Like that's kind of what I want.
Dude, that would probably look better.
You've been hiding this from me for the past.
That would probably look what?
They've done more recent Jack and Daxter games than Beyond Good and Evil, so.
Well, yeah.
That would probably look more appealing to the modern palate. Oh, hey! This game looks fucking sick!
It does look pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie.
Sick! It looks so cool! You
but does it look like...
Skip ahead a little bit. No, I'm actually, previews. Everyone is very excited about this game. I mean, look, I bet against Saber Interactive, a company that ships low-scoring games, but people seem really happy about this. So I might be in some trouble.
Like the fucking bolt gun got like what 76 or 73 or something.
That wasn't even who even made that.
Oh, I didn't.
Also, people love boomer shooters. That's the thing. People love boomer shooters. This is like, a single-player campaign masquerading as a service game. I mean, it's probably really like a service game. Let's be real here.
What makes you think this is a service game?
Because multiplayer co-op is like a big deal, and like while there's a single-player campaign,
you can play the
like this is Saber
campaign co-op.
No, there is co-op modes. There is multiplayer stuff. There is battle passes. I'm telling you. Always bet against service games. I don't trust Saber to make a single-player campaign that's actually like they make bullshit. They made like that Evil Dead game. Saber is a developer you bet against, and maybe this is the time where they finally prove themselves, and it's gonna fuck up my fantasy critic. But I'm not gonna fault myself for betting against Saber Interactive because they're done. They're
look at your fucking use your eyes, bro.
I mean, I'm not gonna be fooled by visuals. What do you, Nick? Just because it looks pretty doesn't mean it's a great.
Well, I watched the 20-minute gameplay preview, and that shit.
Okay.
But like it also looks really simple in one note, right? Right?
Can I just say something? I feel like
trumpets are one note, and they're beautiful instruments.
Nick, I apologize. It's just a meme. There's graphics horror in all of us. I'm just memeing.
Look, you know what other series looks really? I think they like. Why is it chugging? Crazy.
I don't know. You can go to the next one.
Look, you know what series tends to like show really well and look really nice, and then come out to like these days come out to like
Warhammer.
mid 70s, high 70s. Fucking Call of Duty, man. They can make those campaigns look really flashy and really nice and really fun, but nothing has lived up to like Modern Warfare 1. Like nothing.
Are you talking about Modern Warfare 2007 or 2019?
2007, bro. 2007. They have been chasing that.
2010 was really good.
It was
Chris
pretty
Davis,
good.
can you skip this? Like we talked about, please. Thank you.
Okay.
They've been chasing it. They've been chasing it for a long time, and they've never managed to recapture the magic, even though they've come close a couple times. But like these
This is
days,
short. This is real short. Here's my question. This
Tales
is
of the Shire.
This is like, you know, a farming game / cooking game / you know, Animal Crossing game, but like, you know, and this is the Switch version, so it probably looks a little iffy. This is from the Direct. That's my bad. But like, it probably runs like shit. But like, I don't know.
I mean, it's described as a build your own Hobbit town.
Charming.
Yeah,
I thought it
right?
looked charming.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe I'm not gonna play it, but Maria and Henry will.
I want to see how deep it goes, but like
The food looks good.
I mean, the food should be good in the Hobbit.
Let's be clear. There is no danger in this game.
Isn't it like it takes place
Okay,
in
that makes-
Tales of the Shire? It takes place like in Buckland
You know what-
or something? Oh, in Bywater. It takes place in Bywater.
You know what would be really great is if all of a sudden they were like, and guess what? Elijah Wood is narrating the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, sure. Gandalf.
This is what Navalis, right? But yeah, this is like an indie game that people are really hoping nails it. I feel like it's like, this is from the developers of the game in the same world, but you're just like driving the cab around, like the Fifth Element fucking cab game in this world, and now they're making kind of like a semi game in this world.
I mean, it looks cool.
People responded very positively to like the reveal of this, and I feel like it immediately got wishlisted. Like
Was that world that
that
they established in that other game? What was it called? Cloudpunk or something?
Cloudpunk? That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Cloudpunk I heard was just okay. So
like,
but this seems
like,
so
was
much more
the-
ambitious.
Was the meat of that experience, like the thing that people like did like about it, was it like the lore in the world? Because
I
it's
mean,
kinda
that is
weird.
sort of the appeal of that game. I mean, it's just a game where you're kind of like driving people around, and then it's a story game that happens around that. And then sometimes you get out of the cab and you're kind of running around in like third person or whatever, and they're just like, you know what? I feel like this is maybe what people wanted to do more of instead of just driving people around. And
I mean, here's my thing. I'm watching this footage, and so far I'm seeing nothing but like side content. I don't know what the core gameplay loop is.
side content, what does that mean?
Yeah, like you're running a business.
This is like a
thing where
story
you're
trailer.
You're going fishing. Like I don't know what you.
No, it's like a semi world that you just kind of live in. I think.
Yeah, we are talking over like the narrator probably telling
I
you a
think
lot
she
of
is
what the game is.
Explaining.
She's talking real quiet, like.
I think people are responding to the visuals for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's a very nice looking game. I mean, as long as it doesn't remind me of the Game Boy Color, I'm okay.
You are such an asshole. Not my problem.
Mina the Hollow
Looks like dog
is so
shit.
good.
I'm glad this
Look.
is
Oh,
happening
is
right
this
here.
the new?
Look, I'm gonna draft, and you could skip through this a little bit, but this is like a really cool project because
They're
people have
using
been
the
begging
90s
for
costumes.
people have been begging for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to come back specifically because that's the beloved one, but to do a collection with like all of them since that first X-Men game is such a cool.
There's the fucking arcade game in it.
Yes, it has all of these fucking games, and the cool thing is they just threw in the Punisher just because, which is like low key like Hidden Gem, one of the best beat 'em ups is that Punisher beat 'em up game, and they just threw it in there for funsies. Just to go all out for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 like that, it's blowing people's mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that they're giving it rollback net code and just like a bunch of nice stuff, and this entire collection is going to be a physical release. Like the last time Marvel vs. Capcom 2 specifically was available physically, I think was on the PS2.
Clash.
I can't tell you, like going to the arcade and seeing this game, because you know I played Marvel vs. Cap. I was familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom 1, but when 2 came out, you just started seeing all these characters. You're like, who the fuck are these characters from Capcom games that never got localized? And I was just losing my mind. I always loved the Capcom side on these games.
Man, this Punisher game is giving me wild like Batman Returns vibes.
Nick Fury.
Man, what would it take for the ports of the Alien vs Predator beat 'em ups? Because I heard those were really good too.
There are beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are well liked beat 'em ups.
What?
Dude, you
That's
could
weird.
you could name like a comic
Konami,
book property, and there probably was a beat 'em up.
The you know, I don't know if we talked much about Indiana Jones when we were covering Summer Game Fest and stuff. But like, how do you feel about Chris Davis coming out of that thing that they showed? You feeling confident, or are you feeling good about it? I mean, it's machine games that you're betting on, basically, more than anything, right?
I mean,
which is fine. If I can bet against Saber Interactive, you can bet on machine games. That's fine. I get it.
I mean, I have faith in machine games.
You could skip this now. I think people get the idea. But this, I am kind of.
You know, I think machine games.
I was watching that preview for Indiana Jones, and I just kept thinking, like, this is kind of goofy.
I mean, Indiana Jones has always been goofy.
Well, it has, yeah. Like, I went and saw Last Crusade in the movie theater last week.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, it was great, and it's such a stupid fucking movie. Like,
I mean, it's not. Aren't they all kind of stupid in their own way? Maybe not. Maybe not. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Newest one I heard, like the biggest criticism I heard about Dial of Destiny is that it's like kind of serious.
I think it gets bogged down a little in its own, like, because it's saying something about like your hero's getting old kind of thing, and it's just kind of it gets a little self-serious in that regard, but it has plenty of like lighthearted moments. It was fun.
They make a lot of hay. They make a lot of hay in Last Crusade about the fact that Indiana Jones and his dad both had sex with the same Nazi chick. Like, they hit that for jokes a few times.
Oh man, him and his dad are Eskimo buddies, or
yeah, like when they're on the Hindenburg and they're talking about it, and Sean Connery is just like, well, 2 ships passing in the night, like
Neo.
I like how we talked about Indiana Jones all the way through the Neo trailer, and then someone.
Do you think Neo ended up in the Nintendo Direct because they were like, well, I guess we need to have something that kind of looks like Hollow Knight since Silksong's not here.
You know what was good about it? I didn't see a single boss fight in that.
Oh, what's this? Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It's so beautiful. What do you think, Nick?
Motherfucker, I'm the only person here who's fucking played that game and completed it, so why don't you shut your mouth?
Have I not played this game?
Have you finished it?
Oh, I have to finish it to have the correct opinion on the art style.
If you want to talk trash about my opinions of Prince of Persia, you should at least...
That's right, we've talked about this. I didn't get to the late game ugly-ass areas where they're just like writhing buttholes on the wall.
Oh, you go to the
I actually think we've had this exact conversation. Writhing buttholes. What about this? You know, this had a demo during the Next Fest. I don't know if this is still out, but...
I downloaded it. I never got around to playing it, so I don't know if I still have it. But
from the developer of Ashen, I feel like you would have tried this, Nick.
We left.
My problem is I don't like the presentation.
Fucking headphones
with this font.
You don't
and
like
all
the
that.
presentation?
Like, it takes a second for me to process what I'm looking at. But like when I see gameplay footage, okay, I know exactly what this is.
Oh.
I downloaded this demo and I haven't touched it, but I have like 4 demos on my computer that I have downloaded
out soon,
and haven't touched.
I kind of want someone to get the damn, you know, I want somebody here to play it so
they can bid on it.
No, not bid on it. I would never bid on this, honestly. But this is from the developer of Ashen, right? You liked Ashen, right?
I do like Ashen, yeah.
And I liked the idea of Ashen, so I feel like maybe that's a developer worth keeping.
I feel like Ashen had more personality than this, though, if I'm being honest.
Personality? I mean, sure, but like the movement and stuff was cool, right?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Much cooler than Ashen.
What is this?
Oh, yeah,
this is the new game from
I Am Your Beat.
From the Strange Scaffold, who put out like a game every few months or whatever. But they're the developer of El Paso Elsewhere.
Yeah.
And there was a Next Fest demo for this. People were kind of like, it's very neon whitey.
Yeah.
And this might be their first like breakout hit, because
is he controlling his character, or is the character on rails and you're just aiming the gun, or what's going on there?
From what I understand, it was a pretty popular demo during the Next Fest, so they might have a little bit of a breakout hit here.
I mean, it looks fun.
Then it's narrated by the same dude who did the narration for El Paso Elsewhere, who is also the studio head.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So, I need to try that demo. I threw it in here to remind myself. This is one that maybe this could be our last trailer. It's already 8:35, but this is the new Golden Idol game. This is on Nolan's list, and it's still 2024. And this is famously a hideous game, but this one takes place in the. This takes place in this beautifully hideous. This takes place in the 70s instead of old.
I love the way this looks, by the way. In case that was a jab at me.
No. This has nothing to do with you. I'm saying like the art style in the original game was cool, but like the faces and stuff were like kind of, like this. It was a different art style, but it was like ugly, right?
Terrifying.
And this is like also ugly in its own way, but it's amazing how this developer is so good at making ugly.
That's true. That's a skill.
And now it's like well animated.
That guy's on fire.
But like this game's gonna kill it. Well, we should be very afraid of Nolan's fantasy critic. How did he get the gold? This fucking old Golden Idol game. All right, this can be our last one.
Yeah, let's let this.
I did download this just because it was a car combat game with a sick ass art style. But I don't know. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
I like how did you see the license plate said not Max?
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Very
I am. I went and saw Furiosa a second time, and I'm like ready for some car combat.
I mean, this looks somewhere in between Twisted Metal and Smuggler's Run to me.
This just a. I don't know how much there is to the demo, but man, these are the kind of visuals that I respond very positively to.
This looks like Vigilante 8.
Okay,
I mean, to me, they're all the same, but.
I liked Vigilante 8. Go fuck yourself.
I don't need you to say you liked it. I'm saying Vigilante 8 was just a Twisted Metal knockoff. I get it. But yeah, I know it looks like Vigilante 8. It's a car combat game.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just going to end up replaying Mad Max.
I never played Mad Max.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's alright.
You say such effortlessly controversial things.
It's not controversial. That game has some of the amazing car combat in an open world, man. It's so fucking good.
I know, but to be so dismissive of other things and say I'm gonna go.
You are the only one saying that is interpreting my responses to these things as being dismissive.
Dude, you know what we should do? We should do like an indie game bet. You got to throw up something against like Mina the Hollower or something for next year. Because Mina the Hollower's not coming out this year.
Wait, what? Say again? What?
Pick like a pretty indie game that you're like super hyped about that's coming out next year.
And like Silk Song?
No, not Silk Song. No, not Silk Song. Like some fucking like a fucking indie game that you like the look of or whatever that's coming out next year.
There's a lot of them. What are you?
I know. I'm saying, like, do you have a baby? Do you have one that you're really like bandwagoning hard?
Probably, but I got to look at the list.
And then they can fight. And then if Mina the Hollower wins, or like we'll both draft. We'll come up with some competition.
You're asking who I'm gonna pit Mina the Hollower against?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I want to know who Mina the Hollower's asses they're gonna beat, because they're gonna beat.
What about Earthblade?
But Earthblade is a pixel art game. Also,
wait, what is the qualification here?
I'm saying some pretty fucking indie game that you responded positively to mostly because of visuals. I'm not saying it's only going to be good because of visuals, but I'm saying.
But you just threw one out and you shot it down.
You didn't look at the visuals of Earthblade and go,
Sure I did.
No, dude, it's because it's from the makers of Celeste. Don't pick a game with your brain. Pick a game with your heart or your
Hyper Light
wiener.
Breaker.
Pick a game with your wiener.
All right, Replaced.
There you go.
But that's coming out this year, hopefully.
Good luck with that. No, let's. All right, your baby can be replaced. I will, and we'll make a bet. I'll bet any amount of money.
I mean,
the Hollower
if I
scores
really
better
wanted,
than replaced.
You know, if I really wanted to pick from my heart, the only reason I didn't pick this one is because it's in early access and it's already out. Is Sulaco.
Sulaco. Okay, I'll bet 18 hot dogs. Mina the Hollower scores better than Sulaco.
18 hot dogs.
18 hot dogs. What do you want?
Are we talking about 18 Costco hot dogs? Or what are we talking about here?
As someone who
packs of 10.
We gotta do this next year. You gotta draft Sulaco, and I'll draft Mina. And whichever one scores lower, that person has to drop that game, even if it's like a pretty good score.
I feel like we can refine this idea into something else, because that just means you're basically saying you get to get Mina the Hollower no matter what, and that's just not fair to anybody. So
well, you shouldn't draft it. Obviously, you don't believe in it.
Watch me roll the die, and I get to pick first, and I go for Mina the Hollower.
Okay, I don't think that's a first round pick.
You say that because you don't want me to do it. Okay.
Unless you're like in, sixth or whatever.
Let's fucking go.
We're actually doing a show.
We're doing a show. Although we could let's do one segment. Let's just go.
Testing, stop it, Nick. Fucking stop it.
We can do it.
I'm doing.
We've never.
You want to know my real bias? I've been working from home this week because our AC in our office is being worked on. So I've been sitting in front of my computer since 8 a.m. this morning. So that's the only reason.
Let's just start recording. That's the real trick.
Testing 1 2 testing.
Check 1 2. I test. I check.
All right.
Check 1 2. Test.
How's everybody out there in chat world? Sorry, we've been so ingrained in our own shit. I haven't said hello to everybody.
Oh, that reminds me. Let me.
Who's lurking? Who's lurking tonight?
Edit something real quick.
You got my Erdtree footage.
Hades 2. I'll pick a little heart pick. I'm gonna go with Hades 2.
Yeah, Hollow Knight.
Chat, Nick, I want you to do a sound test talking to the mic. Chat, how does Nick sound against the rest of us?
Testing.
How do you whisper on Twitch?
Everybody
they turned off that functionality.
Why do you want to know, Brad? Why do you want to know?
There's somebody in chat you're really interested in, Brad?
Oh my god.
Are we doing a sound test? What's going on?
I want to know. Wait, why is somebody saying something about my audio specifically?
No, last week I had problems with your audio. You were too loud against everyone else. You were peaking. So I was trying to balance your audio.
Nobody said anything the entire show?
I mean, if they
He
did,
said
I
something
didn't notice.
4 days later.
Hold on a second.
Like, I didn't notice until I was editing the video.
How do I sound, everybody? Tell me. Hold on, I'm checking.
How old are you, Zero Skies? I think you're too old for me.
Define too old.
Can we
in
just
this context?
Can we say? Can we just point out that I'm old enough? We're all old enough to remember that time that the person, the
Careful, Nick.
Okay, I don't even want to say his name because it's grossing me out. The doctor, right?
Me out is when I'm looking for
Dr. Disrespect.
gifts.
You won't say his name.
I don't even like giving him credence.
I think you forgot what his name was
No,
and didn't want to say that, and we're just
didn't.
well, I won't even say his name.
No.
I think he just never said it out loud.
I haven't. I've never had a reason
His
to say it
real
out
name
loud.
is like Guy something.
I've never had a reason to say it out loud, but I've been creeped out by that guy ever since E3. I think it was it was either E3 or PAX. He got in trouble for going into the men's bathroom while people were peeing and like trying to interview people at the fucking urinals or something.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes all I'm trying to do is find a GIF of like disrespect someone, like
and he's all over.
A GIF of some disrespectful shit in GIF form, whatever, and I just get GIFs of that motherfucker. So he ruined GIFs.
The word he ruined. Oh, he
ruined the word disrespect in GIF form.
Yeah. That guy's creeped me out for a long time.
Did we do a roll call?
We have not done a roll call yet.
All right, let's do a roll call.
All right. Is everybody recording?
I am recording.
Did we ever figure out if my audio sounds okay?
Prince Universe says sounds like Nick to me. Terry Master says sound is solid.
Okay, cool. Well, if that changes at any point, guys, I would like to encourage you every night from here until the end of time to let us know if there's an audio issue. If someone sounds loud or quiet on the feed, please let us know. But anyways, roll call starts right now. Brad.
Hello, it's Halloween.
Crispy.
Hello. Oh, I had a big dinner.
Big dinner?
Kind of full.
What'd you have for big dinner?
I had golden chick, fried chicken.
Nice.
Let's finish this roll call and I'll inquire
Chris,
further.
Chris Davis.
Golden Chick is pretty good. I haven't had them in a couple years.
It's no Raising Cane's though, right?
No, that's true.
Okay.
It's not.
Raising
Cane's
Cane's
is
Raising
good,
Cane-
but their sauce is the star. Like the rest of it's okay.
All right.
So
Are
what
we-
I
is this the
understand is
podcast?
that everyone around here goes to Golden Chick specifically for chicken strips, which I never
No.
do. I always get
No.
fried chicken there.
Yeah.
Well,
I
so
mean,
in that respect, it
sometimes
is
the strips
no...
are okay if you get them spicy. You gotta get them spicy with the
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I've
Everybody
had them.
stop
They're
the game for a
fine.
second. Okay.
Rolls. I like
When
the
somebody was talking, I heard it sounded like a vacuum cleaner going behind him. Is that?
I think it was a lawnmower,
Oh, okay.
or
I
it's
like
my
the
new
roll.
fan because it's hot in here.
Is there a
Okay.
cat back there?
There is a dog.
A dog?
Hey, dog.
I mean, we can't tell because the camera's so dark.
Yeah,
I like the
all the
rolls.
lights in my room got like darker, so this is about as much light as I
Sometimes
get
they have
now.
little funnel cakes.
You are purely illuminated by the light of your computer screen.
I know.
Yeah,
I
The
know.
whiteness of your
Ah!
pasty skin. All right, let's
we
hey,
ready?
welcome to the podcast. Woo!
You know, it is episode 800, Brad. If you want to take it away, go for it.
This is episode
Welcome.
800.
This is
Wow.
episode 800.
I would have.
Chris Davis, how come you couldn't help us plan something for 800? What the hell?
I tried to do it for 700 and 600 and 500, and I got
Yeah, but
shot
8
down every time.
seems.
He seems
Yeah,
like a
maybe-
big deal.
I have a good feeling about 900. I think that that'll be the
900.
one.
Oh, well,
I just
1,000.
hope
If we make
live
it
see
to 1,000,
900.
let's take a suicide pact. If we make it to 1,000 episodes.
I like it.
All
I
right,
like it. We'll
everyone,
drink the Kool-Aid.
We'll get our fucking channel banned on air.
Nick pushes out, so we gotta, stick him with the syringe.
No. Jesus Christ. Why is it me? What is it?
I don't know.
You just got that face, you just got that vibe.
I don't
You've
even
got
know
that
what
heroin addict look.
Guy who welches on suicide pact kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Jesus, we're going to a really dark place right out of the bat tonight. So off the bat, so I don't. Let's rein this in. Everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast. Like I said earlier, episode 800. It is June 20. Oh God, June 25th, 2024. I'm your host Nick Henderson, joined by Brad Simons,
What's up?
Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry. I started to say Christopher Day. I was like, which Christopher am I going for? And Christopher Davis.
I'm also here. Good evening.
Welcome. We're back to talk about the wild, wacky world of video games for like the 800th time.
Wacky in some ways more than one.
But if y'all want to just shoot the shit and talk about fast food for the first 45 minutes, I'm totally cool with that too.
And to all
tell
the
you what,
youth out there, y'all hit me up with the whisper.
I had somebody. Look, okay,
What the fuck?
In and Out, like people who like In and Out.
I ate it in
You
and out.
like In and Out, but you like it because of the burger, right? You don't like it because of the fries.
The fries
Well, if you
suck.
get them animal style and you eat them fresh,
Whoa, back.
Huh?
Whoa,
Even
everybody.
fresh, they're like hot potato flavored
You've
cardboard.
got 45 seconds to enjoy those fries. Otherwise, they turn to absolute shit.
That
Okay,
is
let me
bad.
animal style.
Guys, everybody shut the fuck up for a second. First of all, who doesn't scarf those fries down in like less than a minute? Nobody.
Well,
Second of all,
If you're driving through,
Drive through.
Yeah.
you're fucked. Like,
Oh, first
I
of
eat
all-
animal style fries in my car while I'm driving home.
can I
don't
tell you
give a
something?
Fuck.
Can I tell you something about myself that's probably gonna get me in?
you don't eat in your car.
I don't like eating
He
while
doesn't.
driving.
He's never
He
done
doesn't
it.
like eating in his Scion TC.
He,
No.
he goes into drive-through restaurants and sits in a booth and eats there.
Did
I
that for
know
lunch
this
today.
because I have had
Like-
so many conversations with him about this.
I went into an In-N-Out today and had lunch. The funny thing is, my favorite thing about In-N-Out is the thing that is the one thing that they ask you about when you order a hamburger there, like just to make sure just in case you don't want them. They have really great like crispy onion. They put like a whole like vertical slice or a slice of onion, raw onion on their burger, and I fucking love that.
Ew, no.
And they look at me and they're like, "Do you want onion on that?" I'm like, "Fuck yes, I want onion on that. Why do you think I came here?"
You could get onion on any burger though.
For onion on a
I do like how their buns
burger?
are a little toasty. I mean, that's an important part of a.
Hey, look, I go to In-N-Out like twice a year.
You know what? You know what slaps? You know what slaps? That new Cheddar Smokehouse or whatever at Whataburger. Here's the hack. Get the junior one. You know how the menu has a junior one?
Yeah.
Because 2/3 of the way through that burger, you're like, "What am I doing here?" Right? Of the big one. But that junior one, like
Perfect
you don't
size.
feel like shit afterwards, and it's a good ratio of everything. I highly recommend.
I think that applies to everything but the patty melt. Like,
Is this a new sandwich?
It's like they have some new like creamy steakhouse sauce, and then they have like breaded fried onions on it. It's
Okay,
good. It's good.
It's good. But get the junior.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Tell you what,
I'll try
though,
that.
you say what you will, shortstop, still pretty decent.
Shortstop.
No,
no.
Shortstop. Shortstop's good. If you want that the flame broiled flavor that like Burger King tries to do, like Shortstop does it, and they just like cook on an actual like flame grill, so like it tastes fucking good.
You got a good Shortstop.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know where Shortstop is that exists.
There's one in the Sprouts parking lot down here on William Canyon.
There's like 9 or 10 of them in town. In fact, you have one that's pretty close to where you live.
Nick, Nick's too bougie for Shortstop. It's fine. Whatever. Let's
just add the bougie thing to the long list of Nick memes that Brad is going to keep railing on this week.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Look, I'm not the only one who calls you bougie, Nick.
I called you bougie when you said you wouldn't eat in your car.
Yeah. I know it has nothing to do with it's like I don't want to like make a mess in my car. It's that like I don't I'm not good at it. I'm not good at eating and driving at the same time. What do you want me to tell you?
Good at it.
You don't want to damage your heated leather seats. I get it.
Yeah. Premium.
I do have heated leather
package.
in my car.
Yeah, we know, Nick. We're not telling stories over here.
You know what's funny? I don't know why.
He's like, but then you have it just in case,
no.
right?
It is great. It is great during like the ice apocalypses that we've been having.
Once every 3 years, but like it was the heat
7 days out of every 2 years.
110.
You really need it.
Listen. It's the heat. Listen, the seats are heated, but they're also cooled.
Whoa. Okay. Now you have my attention. That's kind of.
Is it a 7 series? Like, what do you drive? This is a.
Are you still a Scion guy?
No.
Because you had like
7 series Beamer.
I had 2 Scions, bitch. I had literally 2.
I thought you had one that was like a replacement for one that was the exact same.
No. Yeah. I drove a Scion TC, and then I got my first job, and I was like, I'm gonna. I did the thing, guys.
Buy the exact same car.
No. I did the thing right where I got my first real big boy job, and I got hired, and I was like, I'm gonna buy a car. And I did it. And I went and I traded in my older Scion and got the same car, but like a lot newer.
Oh.
And it was, a lot newer.
You really like the Scion? You're just like, I'm a Scion kind of guy.
Okay.
Does that company still exist anymore?
Yeah. It's
it's part of Toyota.
Yeah,
it was a subdivision. I thought they closed that down. Let me look it up.
They might have.
I promise,
what
guys.
Do you drive? What do you drive?
I drive a Kia Optima.
Kia Optima, huh?
The LX though, right? I mean,
it's the SX.
Oh.
Scion was discontinued in 2017.
Okay.
Is Chris Davis's camera frozen for anybody else, or is that just me?
I think it's his face.
I just thought he was making Chris Davis face.
Yeah, no, it is frozen.
No, he's hard frozen. Like he's just like, guys. I swear to God, we'll eventually talk about video games again.
What are we talking
Oh,
about?
what's there to talk about? Who even plays video
Elden
games
Ring?
anymore?
Everyone's playing Elden Ring. I'm
I
waiting for the difficulty patches.
I am not playing Elden Ring either, actually.
I came to this podcast this week thinking, of course, I'm not going to be the only person playing the fucking long-awaited expansion to Elden Ring.
No, we talked about it last week, but DLC doesn't really get me all that get me going all that much.
You know, this is like an extra like 60+ hours of gameplay, right? Like it's not
60+ hours of gameplay.
Dude, let me tell you something. My friends all started playing Elden Ring again. I got on with them to do like because I never finished it. I'm still in the same first playthrough, right? I'm at like the fire giant, and I logged on to I logged on and I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish and get ready for Shadows of the Erdtree, and like my friends are like, we'll help you kill some bosses, blah blah blah. Dude, I've forgotten so much about that game. Like
it's not an easy game to
it's
put down
so daunting now. Like I spent 10 minutes trying to figure out how to fucking summon torrent. Like I can't go back. I can't go back.
The only reason
I'm not looking forward to it because
the only reason I was able to pick it back up and get back into the saddle, so to speak, as quickly as I did, is because Robin's like a fucking monster, Elden Ring monster, and she just was like, "Here, I'll get you back to where you need to be."
For you.
Do you hand her the controller when a boss is beating your ass?
I did hand her the controller once. I did hand her the controller, but she plays on Xbox, so she's also like, "Oh my god, what is this thing?"
You beat Millennia for me.
But okay, so yeah, I guess let's talk about
bosses. What boss are you stuck on? Tell me about the boss that's making you pull your hair. I knew this shit was gonna happen. And sure enough, people are screaming about fucking bosses. And a lot of those people were playing a shit ton of Elden Ring leading up to this, and they were already warm. They were already ready for these motherfuckers. I'm going in cold, and I'm supposed to like be beating these bosses. Come on,
getting fucking stomped.
I don't know what you want me to tell you here. Look.
I know you don't have to tell me anything. I already know. That's why I'm not playing right now.
But you do remember that Elden Ring is like amazing, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And I believe it. And I believe as soon as I start playing it, I'm going to be like, Elden Ring is wonderful. I believe it. I'm not worried about the time when I start playing the game and I'm like, Elden Ring is great. I'm worried about the 50th time I died to a boss.
Look, I was right there in the same boat you are, and I managed to get back into it. And once you get over there's a little hump, you get back over it. Here's the thing, and I will be doing this for every single encounter. In fact, not even boss encounters, like every single sub boss, like mini boss or whatever you want to call it, like anything where it'll let me summon other players to help me, I am going to summon other players to help me. Every single time.
Well, I don't typically summon players, but I do. All the ashes and all that bullshit. Is the blasphemous blade still good? That's my question.
I don't know what that is. Look.
Wow.
Look. One thing. This is one thing Robin instilled in me very quickly. She's like, you need to make sure you have a mimic tier summon, and I did. Luckily, already had it.
I thought that got nerfed. Is that still good? The mimic tier?
It is amazing. It makes
but like. Didn't it get nerfed? And there was other summons that were
get nerfed because it was like too good before.
I mean, like it probably got nerfed, but even after being nerfed, it can make a boss that seems impossible seem doable. At the very least, doable. So
but people are still crying. Are then with?
Yeah.
Look, I can't speak for everybody else. All I can say.
You could speak for your experience. How many bosses? This happened with 9 Souls. You're like, this shit ain't that bad. I'm 2 bosses in.
I know there's one boss in particular that everybody is like, holy fucking shit, and I have not fought that boss yet. And I know it's going to be a huge pain in the dick.
I think it's a lot more than just that one. I just think that's an early one, right?
Well, I fought the first, what I would call like main boss. I did it last night on the stream. Like up until this point last night, I have fought maybe like 4 or 5 what I would still probably call boss encounters, but they're not like the kind of boss where you walk into a room and it shows you a cool fucking cutscene and then you're just like, I'm fucking in it. It's more like you walk into a room and you like one of those like red invaders shows up and you're like, oh my god, and you have to fucking survive. Like I've fought like 4 or 5 of those, and some of them were kind of a pain in the dick, but I got through them in like 3 or 4 tries each. I did the boss fight last night. You've seen the one, the lion. That's, in fact, if you're watching the footage, I'm wearing his fucking lion head because I beat him.
I'm not watching the footage. What build do you have?
Everybody loves to ask me that, and I never know look, I never know the proper way to answer that question. 'Cause I'm not a,
Well, what fucking weapon are you using?
What stats are you prioritizing?
I am first of all I'm using I switch between two different. I have a katana, which is what I've been using for quite a while, and then I have a staff. So I've been using magic spells for a while.
Wow.
But
I didn't know you were into cheating.
I've been prioritizing strength and intelligence. But I'm also now trying to boost my endurance.
Dex and intelligence. I'm pretty sure you're Dex and intelligence.
I think I'm Dex as well.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a katana, yeah.
My Elden Ring character is straight int, like is a sorcerer. And when I logged in and was like playing around the other night with all my spells, like I feel I don't know. Somebody confirm or deny, but sorcery feels like it got
all your shit got nerfed. Yeah, a lot of stuff got nerfed.
Like I have the fucking Comet Azure spell and it doesn't do dick anymore. Like it doesn't do anything.
But as long as the Blasphemous Blade is okay, then I'm good, because that was my build, the Blasphemous Blade build.
I literally don't know what that is, so I couldn't tell you.
It's a good ass weapon, is what it was, which is faith, strength, I believe.
So, do you want me to talk about Erdtree?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just more Elden Ring. You said it yourself. It's more Elden Ring with harder bosses.
Tell me some lore. Tell me some lore stuff. What's a Skadu tree?
Okay, actually, I'm really glad.
Buffs.
I'm really glad you asked that question. Two things about that.
Yeah.
One, I don't know enough about, like, listening to Robin talk about Elden Ring lore makes me realize I know nothing about Elden Ring lore, so I'm not even going to try. But it is definitely tied to the lore. And
she's on those lore videos and shit, isn't she?
Oh, dude, she watches those daily. Like, she eats her lunch while watching Baki videos.
Someone in the relationship should be Christ.
Yes. Anyways, my point is the Skadu tree fragments, I think that's what they're called, that you brought up, is maybe one of the most interesting additions. It's there because they were trying to balance this DLC for people who have only played through the game once, or maybe this is their first playthrough, right? And they haven't even finished the base game. They've just gotten to the point where they can access it, and the people who are on like their 8th new game plus or whatever. So they're trying to find a way to balance it. So what they did was they introduced these fragments that you can find scattered throughout this realm that is exclusive to this DLC. And for each one you find, you can level up. There's a special blessing. I forgot what it's called, like Shadow Realm Blessing or something, that you level up at the Sites of Grace. And every time you level that up, it boosts your damage and your ability to negate damage. So it makes you stronger.
Just straight up beyond, like after your stats, it's just tacking on.
Yes, it's just tacking on top of that. It's just, you're not even leveling up. It's just but those buffs, which are permanent, only work when you're in this realm. If you go back to the main area, they don't do anything.
So you have like a new progression system on top of this. I mean, so does leveling up in this world still like is it still potent to like?
Yeah, no, it's still functions the exact same. Are you kind of
supposed to be at the same level the whole expansion?
No. You're definitely leveling up, and you're, like, I've already gone up like 7 or 8 levels since I started playing the DLC, right? So like, you're progressing the same way, but like,
does it scale to the levels that you were before the DLC? Like, I'm at the end of New Game Plus, so like, does that mean that I'm gonna have a hell of a time leveling up, or am I gonna be just doing normal?
It's normal. I mean, here's like, it takes about 200,000 souls for me to level up at this point. Robin takes about 600,000 souls to level up, so she's progressing a lot slower. But if you find these fragments and you level yourself up, you're closing the gap. So like, even though the enemies scale with your level, like, so like if you're on your 6 new game plus and you go into this, yes, all the enemies are gonna be a lot harder. The same way they're going to be harder for me going in at the point where I'm at, but as long as you're collecting and searching for these fragments, you're
so if I'm just on new game, I never started new game plus. Are these not just, they're just not going to do much?
I mean, Farrakhan says that the bonuses offered by the Skadu tree fragments are percentage based, so it's like percentage of strength or whatever. So it scales with, so if that means if you're a new game plus and you're at like level 1 whatever, I don't know, 180 or 200 or something like that, and you have a higher strength score, dex score, or whatever,
that's going to go up more than everything else.
Right, it'll scale the advancement with the skitter tree.
So it's really smart, and there's actually like lore tied. The DLC is all about Nicola. I know that. I don't.
Yeah,
don't
who isn't in the game? Who isn't in the first game?
Well, she's alluded to a lot, and when you fight Moog in the base
Nicola's
game,
a boy.
He's a boy. But like Mikola is, you learn a lot about Mikola, but when you fight Moog, you see this like giant like ball or something, and you see Mikola's
the
arm
egg
hanging
thing.
The egg. So like his arm is like hanging out of the egg.
Yeah.
So to access this, you actually have to go. You have to fight Moog, and then you have to touch the hand, and it takes you to this place. So
all right, question.
Right.
So the moment to moment is just very Elden Ring. You're just exploring a big open space, finding little caves and stuff. Yeah. And there's legacy dungeons there, or
I've done several of them, and they're interesting.
You've done several legacy dungeons?
Well, I guess I've done several like side dungeons. I'm not really sure when you say legacy dungeons, what do you mean?
Like the big. What do you mean?
Like how Stormvale was a legacy.
Yeah, like Stormvale Castle. You know, like the Academy. Like the big.
Like the ones that have like major bosses at the end.
Yeah, I've done one of those so far. There's several.
Okay.
In this DLC.
I mean, I like Elden Ring, but maybe I'll get all these Scooby-Doo things or whatever. But like when you get to a boss, you just like summon human assistants right away. I
made this as look. I am coming off of 9 Souls. I also don't like. I mean, as much as I love Elden Ring, I don't want to be playing this for the next like 6 months. So like, but I definitely want to play and experience this expansion because I think I love Elden Ring. So I just made the decision very quickly that I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make these bosses go down as smoothly as possible. I mean, and for me, that means summoning people.
Do they just kill it right away?
No, but like a lot of what it is the first boss you go to, it gives you, because sometimes like you'll meet NPCs in the world. This happened in base game, right? So if you talk to a certain NPC, then suddenly you go to a boss fight and they show up like a summoning thing shows up.
Yeah, I summon those fools all the time.
Yeah, so that happens. That happened with the first boss fight. But I also summoned an actual person to come in with me. So I had that guy and I had a person helping me.
Are there a bunch of Let Me Solo Her knockoffs these days?
I have not run into one. I've still like that lion fight last night. There's like Terry Master in chat was helping me a lot last night. How many times did that take me, Terry Master? That probably took me like 10 plus tries on the lion last night, and I was summoning people every time. Yeah. So like that lion fight, it was, even with 2 summons essentially helping me take him down, it was pretty clutch. I was sweating balls last night.
It's like summoning's not gonna be a fucking silver bullet, because like I don't like the way I play, and I'm sure a lot of people play this way, is like when I get to a boss fight, I usually put my summoning sign down to fight it as a summon before I do it myself, just so I can see what the fuck's going on.
That's actually a good point. Yeah. And I feel like because I'm pretty much just, also because there's so many people playing the expansion right now, I put the summoning, I use the finger, right? And you see all these little markers show up, and I start just hitting them, but people are getting them as quickly as they're popping up. So like, I'm like, summon this guy, and he's like, not available. Summon this guy, not available. And I'm just like hitting them. I'm not even. That was
like Stormvale at launch.
So everyone, like, it was kind of evenly split between people who like, I clearly got someone who was doing what Crispy's doing, who's probably like, just I'm testing the waters, right? See what's going on here. And
it's not that scary when you're the summon.
Yeah. And then
Terry in chat saying there's some boss fights that don't allow summons.
Yeah, there are some. But I don't think I might be wrong, but I don't think that any of those bosses are going to be bosses that would like smash you into the ground in 5 seconds. Like it
wasn't optional, maybe. You sweet summer child.
Weren't there ones like that in the
those are the worst.
I did a boss last night where I couldn't summon.
You couldn't summon players in Radon, could you? You had to use all the NPC ones?
Because you had all the NPCs, right? There's usually a reason for it.
I fought Radon post nerf, so I one shot at that motherfucker. Get fucked, Radon.
You and your gimpy horse.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you brought up the fragment thing, because that is definitely of what I've played so far. That is the one thing I wanted to like really draw attention to, is they found a really interesting way that is like tied into lore. So if you're like an Elden Ring lore nut, like it's really interesting because it's tied to like you have to basically follow Miquella's footsteps through the Shadow Realm, and when each kind of like marker you come to is like marks like a spot on his journey through the Shadow Realm, and that's kind of what. And then you learn a little bit more about Miquella's background, and then you get one of these fragments. You go to the thing, and then it's interesting, and it gives you incentive to explore. And like there's just like Elden Ring, there's a fucking lot to explore here, and it's all really good. And let me tell you, the first time I walked into the Shadow Realm, I was like, "Fuck, I forgot how beautiful this game is! Holy shit!" And then I met the first new enemy type, and he just destroyed
fucked you inside out.
Just fucked me inside out. It's bad.
Yeah.
So I have heard that there is a new hot lady in this. Like Ronnie is a
You mentioned this on my last stream last night, and I have not met this person, but I welcome it. We'll see what happens.
Just saying, there might be a new queen in town.
I'm still relatively early in this.
Does anyone know if there is a new ending to the game if you beat the DLC?
To the base game? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this affects the ultimate the ending of the actual game. I mean, I'm going to assume there is an ending to this DLC that kind of stands on its own. I don't know if it's going to have a bigger impact on like the ending to the base game. That is for me. So. That is yet to be seen. I think it's maybe just too early to be asking those questions because most people are still, balls deep in this game. But let me tell you, if you like Elden Ring and you like the core loop of Elden Ring and exploring the world of Elden Ring, this DLC has. I feel bad even calling it DLC. It's big enough and expansive enough. This is a full blown expansion to this game. I can see myself spending another 40 hours easy in this expansion. So. And I'm sure I'm going to. Although 10 of those hours are probably going to be me replaying boss fights over and over again.
Probably more than 10.
Probably. Let's be real, probably. But hey, man. And Vincent Street in chat says none of the previous Souls DLC affected the base game ending, so I would imagine that's probably going to hold true here. But this will, I would imagine, if you play this expansion, it's going to give you, I mean, what is an ending if not updated lore, right? So like, it's going to give you a whole new avenue of lore to explore, right?
I want to know about like new weapons and shit.
There are new weapons.
The same bullshit you used in the main game.
No, my armor set right now is completely new armor. I'm still using I haven't found a weapon that I have been able to level up high enough to be better than my katana.
Oh yeah, you
yet.
get any cool Ashes of War?
Yes, I've gotten several. I don't use it in this footage though. But I know Robin got a sword the other day that's like, I forgot what it's called. It's like Sun and Moon or something like that, and it's just like I don't want to spoil it, man, but I watched her use it and I was like, wow, that's pretty fucking wild. I want that. So there's definitely new equipment and stuff that makes this worth going through.
I mean, I'm probably gonna play this shit at some point, but I got so many games and I'm in the middle of right now.
I probably wouldn't have played this so
Rebirth.
I probably wouldn't have played this as quickly if, like Robin's been here like 5 days, 4 days, like just counting down and like taking time off from work and being
just
like
ruining your life.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, I can't be in here not playing Elden Ring while she's in there playing Elden Ring because like we're just. So that's kind of what's going on.
How do you feel about that? I mean, or do you look at that and go, "Is this what it's like to truly love a video game?"
Such an alien concept.
I love all video games.
Yeah,
okay.
That's all lives matter.
Is this how Brad feels about Mina the Hollower?
Oh my god! Can I call this game? Can I call this show "All Games Matter" or something? That's
oh god, no.
It's not a good joke. Hey, let's talk about how Nick thinks Mina the Hollower is not for him because it's ugly.
It's not what I said.
It's also not ugly.
Did you not hear me just say that I love all video games? Even the bad ones? Even the bad ones like Mina the Hollower? I'm just kidding.
There's games.
What else do we fucking play?
I mean, I have another game, but I don't want to go right into.
No, let me talk about my shit real quick.
Yeah, fucking go.
I've been playing some Next Fest demos. I played, a handful of them. But Arranger is one I waited to talk about. I guess I don't know because I wanted to draft it in Fantasy Critic before I talked about it because I didn't want y'all stealing that shit. But y'all didn't because I mean, whatever.
By the way, there are no overlays for the names of these.
I don't care about overlays. Roll that footage.
I didn't know that I would. I'm grabbing it right now. Hang on.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about not a ranger.
No, you
how long is that gonna take?
I'll just load it in a second.
Can I? So I'm watching the feed right now as we're recording this podcast, and I can see that Chris Davis is not frozen. In this Discord call, he is still
frozen in the Discord call. I'm not too worried.
He could have left the room, and I would never know.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, I don't know how to fix his Discord call, but whatever.
Hey, if we're venting right now while we're trying to pass some time, I wouldn't.
No, so a ranger is a game. I picked it up in Fantasy Critic.
Okay.
And I'm.
Fuck me then, I guess.
What?
I thought we were trying to pass time until he got the footage rolling. So I started saying something, and you just ran over me.
But he said he was about to get it, and look, it's there. A ranger. Yeah. So this is a new puzzle game that's coming out soon, and I played the demo, and I'm like, oh, this thing's legit. This is the real deal. I like this a lot. So I picked it up. I'm a Fantasy Critic. This is a new puzzle game from some developer that I forget what they're called. Some like hipster name or some shit. But
wow, really did a research.
Hipster name or some shit.
No, I know. It's people that worked on. There's a game Carto that one of the guys that's doing that. Nick Sutner, who
I know. I remember Nick Sutner.
Used to be
he worked for Sony for a while.
Media, but he worked for Sony, and then he kind of started writing for games. He's part of this developer. And also the artist for Braid, you might notice the art style is very similar to kind of it's sort of like a more refined take on the Braid art style, which is a little
Oh, I remember this. Okay.
And I really think like visually this is a really cool game. It might be hard to tell on stream far away. I'm looking at it on the phone. I mean, fuck. But it's a puzzle game where the whole world is like on tiles and it moves as you move. Everything around you on your tile lane or whatever moves as you move. So it becomes really tricky.
I imagine.
It is hard to explain, but I mean, like a slide puzzle game, right? If there is an enemy, if there are an object 2 tiles away from you and you move towards it, it's going to move away from you because you're moving everything in your lane,
the whole row,
both up and down. You're moving the whole row, the whole column, right? And they call this a role puzzling adventure, but this is it is very story driven. But this is also like a kind of like a Zelda like, if you will, where you start off in a town and you're going to be like there's going to be like dungeons and stuff, but everything is based around this very like specific movement mechanic and the type of puzzle around there, and just from what I've gathered from like playing the demo and trailers and stuff, it's there's some really neat the ways that they kind of take this mechanic and like play with it and get really tricky with it is like pretty clever. There's some clever stuff here, and I just like the way it moves. Like so not only do you move your lane moves as you move, but also there's like wraparound. So if you go to the end of like one room or whatever, you'll pop out the other side, and that's like a big part of like the puzzle design as well, where you're trying to get things to the other side and you're trying to move them around. And when I saw a trailer, I was like, oh, this is going to be too hard. This is going to be like brutal, and kind of like what's the game, the paper folding one that we watched a trailer for,
the one that you said gets hard really fast.
Yeah, so that got hard really fast, and I was worried this is going to be like really difficult like that, but I feel like this is a lot breezier, at least at the start of the game, kind of where I'm at. Like it's tricky, but if you just kind of like calm down for a second and stop moving and think about it, like you start picking up little tricks and you start moving like a lot faster, and it's been a really like breezy but also tricky, like, and clever but ultimately very satisfying puzzle game that they introduced, and it's like right out of Braid, right? They have like objects in the world that are not affected by like the movement of the tile, meaning that they stay in place. So if you or like an object bumps into it, it kind of like stops the movement on that row. So the puzzle design also kind of moves into working around those limitations, and it gets tricky fast and it gets clever fast. And I don't like the story itself is pretty good too. Like you're kind of like an outcast and you're trying to get out of your town, your village, and some of the people there are real nice and some of the people there are kind of like dicks, and you kind of get the vibe that some people are glad you're leaving, because I think it has something to do with your power, because early on in the game you're just trying to like walk through town and you like knock some person over who's like climbing up a ladder because you move the world as you move or whatever, right? But I think it's also just a story about someone who's just trying to get out of their town or whatever. And like your first quest is to like find a place to put your shit because you're leaving, and you can't leave it where you were staying. So you're like talking to people and like trying to like, hey man, can you take some of my shit? And I don't know. Me personally, I find that like kind of a funny, relatable thing, because sometimes your shit is the thing that makes it hard to do anything. Let me tell you. But it just seems well polished and well made. And like, I got to be honest with you guys, I think this one's a banger. Like, I really like this demo. I think it's super cool. Like, there's even a boss in the demo, right? But you don't have like weapons or anything. But in terms of the puzzle designs, you'll see like swords and stuff in the environment that you have to try to manipulate to hit enemies, right? To actually like destroy the enemies that are basically the obstacles. But I got to a boss that was very reminiscent of like a Link to the Past boss, right? Where he's kind of like a caterpillar or centipede or whatever that gets longer. But the thing is, he moves only as you move the world, and he gets longer as long as you have a path to like move him along, and you're trying to get his tail to appear and have him run into himself to damage him. That's like the way you damage him, and like manipulating that with like the rule set of the tile movement of the world was actually pretty tricky. So like these, like in terms of like puzzle design, like they definitely know how to ramp up difficulty and they know how to like add cool variety. It's a simple idea, but like I'm telling you, I feel like they're nailing it. This is one I'll absolutely play when it comes out.
I think the visual style alone is also going to be really interesting to see, because like just this first level, it looks really nice, and it's really unique. Like this, where they have stuff in the foreground and the background. Not all stuff is related to the grid you're on, but it's like.
And when they'll do things like when you're moving along the world, like later on in the demo, I don't know if I get to it here, and you're just kind of like on a river and you're like moving to another part of the world. You'll see like big like cutouts kind of happen in the background of like zoom ins of your character and maybe her interacting with other things, people and things, and it's like stories happening, kind of without words through like these like panels, and it's got a good look, man. I think this one's really cool. Like the writing's good, the look is good. They're nailing it. I don't know. I drafted it for a reason, and I kind of waited to talk about it for a reason. But if you're interested, try the demo.
Does it have a date?
Demo's still up. July, August, I think, maybe July.
Another one of these indie darlings that's sneaking up very quickly.
I mean, but again, what's an indie darling anymore if no one notices? I feel like it's really brutal out there. I feel like maybe this one might do okay, but unless you got a publisher that's really kind of getting it out there, you hate to see it, but sometimes not enough people are paying attention. But I'm saying I feel like this is one people should definitely be paying attention to. It's really cool. And I got one other one I want to talk about real quickly. It's another game I played during the Next Fest. One of a handful that I played, but this one kind of stuck out as being pretty cool. It's called Dungeons of Hinterberg. You may have seen it in like a Xbox showcase or something. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember this. I don't remember which
this one also
comes
out. This one also comes out pretty soon. And I don't know. It just seemed cool. Like it was a little like janky, a little indie or whatever. And I feel like it's a big idea for like maybe an indie dev, and that's why it's a little janky, but I feel like the idea is so cool that I'm kind of excited to play, even if I know it might be a little janky. This is a 3D action adventure, like kind of like it's like 3D Zelda meets Persona. if you will.
Okay.
And I think what you're gonna see here is me like fighting some dudes and like kind
And
of
snowboarding.
snowboarding around the world. And eventually I'll get to a dungeon. It's called Dungeons of Hinterberg, but it's actually like a 3D Zelda game where there's like these dungeons you go into, and they're bespoke dungeons with like puzzle design and stuff. And there's a bunch of them. In the demo, you just do one of them, but you actually see a long list of like the dungeons in the game. And I think there's like 15 dungeons, and they might not quite be as long as like a big Zelda game, but they definitely do seem like fairly unique. I see trailers, and one of them is like kind of like a minecart dungeon where you're riding minecarts. I'll get to the dungeon here pretty quick, I believe, but this one is like it's very you know, the abilities you just get are like this laser and you're like a little snowboard thing, and you're on the dungeon you get into, you're kind of on these like smaller like planetoids, kind of like Mario Galaxy style. And I'm like, oh, this is like there's some pretty cool ideas here. It's not there's a little bit of jank to it. Like the combat is not like blowing me away or anything, but not many people out there are doing like 3D Zelda games with like cool bespoke dungeons, honestly. So I kind of applaud them for that. But then you go back to town after you get to that dungeon, and there's like this whole town, and it's very like indie, but it's like in terms of like the characters and the writing, but and I mean that by saying like it's pretty good and it's pretty charming, but you have basically social links. Like a lot of your upgrades as a character are like through these social links that happen through having uh, 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 interactions
Whoa.
with people in the town, right? And the thing is, it's on a Persona style calendar system. So like you can go into a dungeon, but like to do that dungeon, but time's going to move forward. You can hang out with this person to spend time with this person because you actually have like a checklist that says, well, if you develop this relationship here, it's going to increase this resource, or you're going to get this new item, or you're going to get this ability. So like maybe keep building that relationship, but you can only do so many things in a day because making those choices advances time, just like Persona. And I feel like that's like a cool, I mean, I've always been like very anxious about like the rigid structure of a Persona game, right? Where you're like,
It's
oh,
pretty
am I
rigid,
doing
yeah.
am I doing this right? Am I making bad choices? Should I not be hanging out with this person? Should I be eating ramen, beef bowls or whatever the fuck, right? But this seems like way more chill because it kind of has that laid back indie vibe, and everyone's like, hey, what's up, man? And like, but like the writing is good, and it's like I want to hang out with these characters not just because they seem cool, but also because like I get these abilities and loot and shit, and then there's these cool dungeons, man. I just like.
Is this a dungeon we're looking at right now?
This is this is a dungeon.
It looks like fucking Mario Galaxy. Like you're walking all over like little planetoids.
It's like Mario Galaxy meets SSX Tricky without the tricks.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting... You were talking about the minecart thing, and I was kind of expecting that, and then we get to hear it, and I was like, this is definitely not what I was expecting. But it looks
that was another dungeon that I saw in the trailer, and I bring that up to say that I think they're all like maybe pretty different, actually. I don't know. I don't, but I do know there's like at least a dozen dungeons or so in this game, and just like the structure and the vibe and the look, it might be hard to tell from this footage, but like there's like a good cool art style.
Even the character looks. I mean, I'm watching this footage on a small screen from our stream, right? But like the character, like the animation and the character art reminds me a little bit. It looks almost like either like Miyazaki-esque or like maybe something more akin to like what do you call it? What's the fucking Life is Strange or something? I don't know. But like it's definitely not a style I was really expecting from this kind of game, and I kind of dig it.
It's and when you're in town, it's got kind of Life is Strange energy, but again, that Persona structure, which is like kind of cool that Indie's just sort of like, we can do that. Let's do that in a Zelda game with social links. It's pretty cool. I don't know, I don't know if this is like, fantasy critic like worthy or anything, but like I had a good time with the demo, and again, I think it's coming to Game Pass, so I'll probably play it when it comes out, and I think it comes out next month.
Man, next month's
cool.
Kind of stacked.
I initially kind of like I saw this in like a couple of those showcases, and I was like, what is this bullshit? But I'm glad I actually tried the demo because it was pretty fun.
So again, what's it called? Dungeons of Hinterberg?
Hinterberg. Yeah, cool. I think it's like some Norwegian-esque town or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Cool.
Pretty cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't get show off any of the town stuff, but that stuff's pretty cool too.
Dungeon looks pretty rad though. All right. So before I talk about my game, it's Crispy. You got? I know you didn't really. What you been up to, man?
He's over there playing Slay the Spire on his phone.
Yeah, I'm playing phone games, and honestly, this last week's been a little crazy.
Understood.
I
mean, my important
the only thing
question
I've
for
really
you-
been playing. So like I played like 2 hours of V Rising the other day because I was like, well, let's give this a shot and see if it's any different. I didn't really get far enough to surpass where I'd already been.
Oh.
Still cool. I still want to keep playing it. But I'm trying to get ready for the next Final Fantasy expansion.
Oh,
It
shit,
comes
is that
out
soon?
next week. It comes out next
Oh,
week.
July 2nd, yeah.
I'm like 2 patches behind, and I keep doing the shit where I'm like, oh, I gotta finish leveling up my fucking, my warrior job because I'm only at 77. I gotta get to level 90 to get to level cap, and then like I just realized today, like, what am I fucking doing? Like, the level cap's going up to 100 next week. I'm wasting my time. Like, so I'm trying to get through story stuff and get through the relic weapon quests. I've got so much. Yeah, I'm not ready. I got so much shit to do.
I didn't realize I was
the
sneaking
fucking
up on it so
slacker in the
quickly.
first place, man. I
What?
thought this was your shit.
Don't forget
It
about all
is.
the people who are going to be
It
punching
is.
a week
Caught up.
early.
Well, I was staying current. So like, you have to remember my last Final Fantasy stint went for a while because it was like all of Endwalker post patches, so it was like 5 or 6 patches into Endwalker, and then the first maybe just the first post patch after, but like there was like 6 months where like this is the only thing I was playing, and then I walked away and played other stuff, and I'm just getting off of a big Destiny bender. And yeah, no, I was like, I know I have to get rid. I actually re-upped my subscription like a while ago, which I shouldn't have done because I've been paying for time I haven't been using. But like, I thought I was gonna get back into it like in March or something, and
Yeah.
Destiny was like the farthest thing away from my mind. I was still playing, new stuff coming out here and there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play Like a Dragon for a while, which still on the back burner. But I've hit a point in Like a Dragon where it's like the next objective is like raise 3 million yen, and I'm just like it's not that hard, but it's that really fluid objective of like however long this takes you is how long it takes you, and that kind of like the story was
Daunting.
getting really good. The story was getting like really like juicy, and then they're like, okay, you can't continue the story until you have a bunch of money, and I'm like, fuck, okay, fine, I guess I'll. Yeah, like I was just like the side stuff is good, but I was just trying to get through it. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
when you're supposed to do the management game. Or
yeah,
whatever.
I know. I've done a bit of the management game so far. I've done a fair amount of it. And I realized that it was like, yeah, I have to go just deal with management for a while, which is cool. It's a fun game. It's funny as shit. Like, I love the fucking board meetings where like one of my executive board members is a chicken, and like people are like, I think the company's doing poorly, and the chicken's like, I think you're mistaken. Like, it's fucking it's delightful, but it came at a bad time. It came at a time where like busy work wasn't something I had a lot of time and patience for.
Lust for, yeah.
So yeah, I'm just kind of making the rounds in my lifestyle games, I guess.
That's
I don't
cool.
know.
That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. I wish I had more to say about Destiny at this point to talk about it, but I still.
Oh,
plan on
that's
doing that
right.
In the future.
You fucking. I knew it.
I was gonna stream it last night, but then I was like, no. I was gonna stream it last night, and then I was like, I feel like I got Erdtree is like one of those things where it's like if I don't do it right now, it's just never gonna happen.
I don't know if that's the way to look at it, Nick.
But
I mean, as a person who just put out Baldur's Gate for over a year now, I feel like, don't say you'll never get to it just because you're not playing it now.
I don't know how to explain to you how my brain works, but that's That's just what my brain was telling me.
Never
But
say
I'm probably gonna
never.
get back to doing Destiny on Monday nights. I wanted to make some progress in Erdtree specifically, so I would have more to say about it on this podcast. So now that I've talked about it, that'll kind of be my
Now you can stop playing
back
it.
burner. No, I am definitely going to finish that game. But I'm gonna get back at streaming Destiny on Monday nights. So Chris Davis, I'm so freaked out by the fact that I can't see your face moving, but I feel like I should ask you.
Well,
If
he
saying
needs to
anything.
drop out of the Discord.
Let me see about fixing it. Uh-oh. I may have borked the call. Hello? Uh-oh. I broke it! Look at that fucking stoner face on Brad. It's too good. I'm gonna drop out of the call, come back in. Hang on. Uh-oh. It's broken? What the hell's going on? Hang on just 1 minute. I'm working on it. And restart Discord. Don't worry, it's okay. Don't panic.
No. I said, promise me you won't get mad.
I promise.
It's okay. There's nothing to worry
I don't have
about.
any of my recording for the Erdtree segment.
Really?
I don't have a recording up until Brad was talking about his stuff.
Did we go to break and I didn't know about it?
Yes, we're on break.
Okay. All right.
Wait, so what? So there's no audio from you until Brad was talking about games?
Not on my end.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. And I won't say how because that shouldn't be important. That shouldn't matter.
Oh, fuck.
Whatever. Shut up. Fuck you.
I hope the stream audio was okay for that first segment.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
Okay. Well, then I'll
And
need to hear
I
stream
also
audio.
did a local recording just to be safe. So
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm still gonna take everybody's audio and see what I can work
So
with.
shut up.
I'll probably just use the stream audio up through that point.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
well,
figure it
up
out.
through the moment in which I tried to fix my webcam, which by the way you can see, right?
Now I can, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've been frozen since like very early.
Yeah,
in
but
the show.
only in Discord. He's been okay on the stream.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah, I've
okay
been
on
fine
the
to
stream.
I don't know what's going on. But okay, well that's good at least because I mean it cut out the voice call, so like I couldn't rejoin. I had to restart Discord. So my audio turned out fine, and the stream audio will turn out fine, but it cut off as soon as I tried to fix my camera.
What?
So
My point is, even though some of the audio got kind of janky in that segment, everybody still send me their audio files.
you'll get it. In fact, I'm exporting it right now just to be safe. While I go get
I'll be right
a cup
back.
of tea.
Did I tell you on my Father's Day card, Henry wrote, I love you, Dad, because you showed me the trailer for the Goat Simulator 3 DLC.
There you go.
Oh, that's incredible. What have you done?
Still didn't buy it for him yet, but I think he's buttering me up. I don't know if he knows that that's
Coach Simulator thing. Did he play the base game?
yeah, it's all he plays. I feel like that's
He's
just
a Chris Davis.
he won't play like Mario Odyssey. He wants to like fuck around. He just wants
Yeah,
GTA 3.
He just wants to play good games. Wants to play fucking Minecraft.
Yeah, he plays Minecraft.
Oh, Brad, you
plays...
watch. Hang on, you watch fucking reality TV show bullshit, right?
Sometimes.
Are you watching MILF Manor season 2?
No, there's a season 2.
There's a season 2, and
I didn't know they got greenlit for a
they
season 2.
changed the format. I mean, it's still the same thing, but instead of it being like a bunch of older women dating the sons of the other women in the house, which awful. Now it's like they had like 6 women, and then they brought in 5, boys or whatever you want to call them, into the house, and then they brought the boys' single dads into the house.
Oh god!
So now it's like MILFs dating DILFs and boys, and like they brought in one of the ladies from last season into the house, like last minute, like on her own, like after everyone had already been settled, to like stir shit up, and she took a dude and his dad on a date to like a tantric yoga studio and made all 3 of them do like sex yoga together. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck has happened to TV?
Oh, good.
What are you watching, Chris
I just
Davis?
fucking mainlined like 5 episodes of it.
I'm watching Game Changer on Dropout. Like,
yeah, I've seen all that. Hey, Crispy, you watching House of the Dragon?
I'm not, because my roommates are both like, I don't remember the first season, so we started watching the first season again. So I'm trying to get caught up.
Whatever. Sounds like some Team Green bullshit. Fuck you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Allison all the way.
Well, why is it people trying to make that a thing? Okay, stop it. This isn't Edward versus fucking Jacob here.
Like, they're all
no one is Team Green. There's not a single person who's Team Green.
I mean, there are people on Twitter who are, hurting for that fight, but
no, but
okay, hang on. Like, Allison is like a stuck-up fucking bitch. I get it. Like, she's awful, but
there's nothing to root for.
Rhaenyra's nothing better. Like, Rhaenyra sucks. Like, I'm watching the. I was.
You
watching
haven't started watching season 2
again.
yet.
I guess
She
sucks.
Everyone sucks on this show.
They all fucking suck. Like,
everyone sucks on this show. Like the big difference between this show and Game of Thrones is there is no like Tyrion, right? But Rhaenyra, I feel like especially now in season 2, I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, I thought that when I got away from season 1, like, I don't care about it as much. I don't care about these characters.
Manor's on Max.
I'm not rooting for any of these characters. But like MILF Manor, sometimes you just get into the depravity of
it really. Oh yeah. You just it's the filth of it, right? It's the depths of humanity. Like,
the show really does need a few not horrible people, but I don't know. I hasn't found them yet.
I really liked what was the hands? Not the hand. I guess, was he the hand? Strong. What's his name?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Lair Strong, but that's the
Ryder Strong.
Yeah, Ryder Strong.
Lair's
his brother and father, who were like cool, and then yeah, everyone sucks. Kristen Cole's the fucking just the worst. The worst.
The worst.
Just the worst.
What about the twins? You like the twins?
No, I don't like anybody. No, I like fucking Valerian, the what's his name? The sea snake, the sea serpent. That guy's fucking cool. And he's a piece of shit, psychopath, but Damon is like one of the best characters of the show. Like, he's compelling. Like, he's fun.
Where are you in your rewatch? Or is this like child Damon, or I mean, what
he was
Damon?
Never a child. I'm talking about Matt Smith.
Oh, you're talking about Damon. Okay.
Yeah, Damon.
Yeah,
that's Damon, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No, I was thinking. Look, trust me, the fucking names in this.
No, the kids are all awful.
Awful.
Yeah,
no, Damon's fun, but like he's obviously despicable. You know, it's.
I mean, we all know how the story ends, though, so that's kind of like what's cool about it. You know,
I don't.
like, well, you'll see.
I'm rewatching season 1 before I start season 2.
Yeah, it's definitely a really happy ending, and everyone's okay. Like...
Yes, it doesn't end well. I get it, but still.
Okay.
Let's see. They talk about this war in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And you guys remember in the context of why they do that. Like what the big long-lasting outcome of this war is.
I don't explicitly remember, but I feel like I probably should know that.
The major cultural impact. I'm not gonna tell you, but like there is a specific like major cultural impact that is still being felt, 170 years later in Game of Thrones from specifically this war. And that's after that. I mean, this is before 3 Blackfire rebellions. Like this war's a big deal. And wars that are big deals are never, great.
Right.
I want my Dunkin' Eggs spinoff, though. Come on.
Dude, it's coming! They're working on it. You know they're working on it, right? Like, they're shooting it right now. They're shooting it right now.
They're shooting it.
Yes. Like, that's happening. They George R. R. Martin was talking about them setting up fucking, oh god, what's the tourney in the first one? Yeah, like all the lists and everything and the tents that they had all set. Dude, it's coming. It's so sick. Okay. They've even announced casting for a bunch of the characters. Like
roll call. Ooh, really?
Yeah.
What? Anybody?
I don't think they've announced Duncan Egg yet, but they've announced who plays Tanzel Tootal and like Steely Pate and one of the lore. Oh, I think they've announced who the Fossaways, like the Fossaway cousins.
These all sound like Hobbit character names.
Yeah, no fucking shit, Chris Davis. Shut up.
Also, no, they don't.
The Fossaways. This tourney is the reason why the cadet branch of the Fossaway house has a green apple instead of a red apple. The green apple Fossaways. It's great. I love it. It's so good. I'm so excited.
You never figured out your headphone thing, Nick?
I mean, why it keeps turning off randomly?
Yeah, you're not gonna like. What are the actions you're gonna take as a?
It already did
someone
it
who doesn't.
It only happens once a night, and it already happened tonight. So it happened before we even hit record.
That's still unacceptable.
It is unacceptable, but like I don't know what to tell you. These are the most comfortable, best headphones I've ever had. The only downside is they randomly turn themselves off in the most inopportune moments. I don't like this. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, though.
It's great. It's not okay. But the alternative is go spend a bunch of money to get new headphones that I'm not going to like as much as these.
No, that's not the solution. There's probably an actual solution. Like you could troubleshoot the problem.
I Googled it. I spent like 20 or 30 minutes Googling it, trying to find a solution. I could not find anybody talking about this issue. I don't know what to tell you.
It's probably you should. I feel like they should teach.
Don't you finish that fucking sentence. If you're about to tell me
it's like how come in school they don't teach you how to
punch you in the face.
They should teach you how to research shit.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say they should teach electrical engineering.
The fact that you're implying that I don't know how to research shit is super condescending and offensive.
Well,
like come on.
No, it's not. It's not condescending. I'm not trying to be.
Are you talking about your headset?
I don't think you should just be searching your headset. I think it should be. You should be searching all the software that you have open.
I will say,
that happens.
If you search headset, like a lot of times I've had problems with headsets, and I looked up how to fix shit. It's usually like, well, just get a new one. Like, I don't know.
It's probably something that's happening with like Audacity or Discord or something. Like it's dropping signal. I don't know. Whatever. I'm recording. I'm ready for a roll call.
I'm recording.
Here's the thing. I can also tell you this. It also tends to happen when I do like long gaming sessions or something. It'll happen randomly in the middle of that. it'll just turn off, and then I have to like pause the game.
So it
turns
turns like it actually powers down completely.
It powers down the whole thing. I have to turn. I have to hold the button down until it comes back on.
Is it like a timer thing? Like it thinks it's not connected and it's powering down based on
because that would suggest there'd be some like regularity to like the intervals in which it's doing that, and that's not what's happening. Like tonight, it happened before I turned on the headset. When I got on the call with Chris Davis, right before I got on the call, turned it on, and before we even hit record for the actual podcast, it had turned itself off. Sometimes I go all the way to the end of the second segment and it turns itself off in the middle of the second segment. So like it's.
Oh shit!
What?
Brad, this is the guy. This is the guy playing Sir Duncan the Tall.
He posted it in the Twitch chat.
But who the fuck is this? I don't know.
He's like a rugby player. They have a picture of him. They have a picture of him as Dunk. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's the picture I saw the other night. I thought that's what you were referring to.
Edge Knight. But like, is this guy good? Do we like this guy?
I don't know. I have no idea. What has he been in? Harry Wild, Bad Sisters, Wreck. Oh, yeah, that's it. Quicksand. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's got the look, I guess. He's kind of a tall blockhead. Fuck, man. Fuck. Nick, you could get through Night of the Seven Kingdoms so quickly before that show comes out. Yeah. Like, it's worth it. It's so good. Quick.
Are you saying this is like another Game of Thrones book I need to read? I'm still working my way through the short
stories. It's like 3 or 4 short stories. That's it.
But look, I'm still listening to book 3. I haven't even gotten to the Red Wedding yet in the actual books.
Don't use a fucking gerund on me, okay? You're not listening to anything.
What are you talking about? I was listening to it today.
High technology. Thank you for.
Were you listening to it like any other day in the past year?
Yes, dude. I listen. But like the rate in which I listen, the rate in which I listen to books is very. I don't read books very fast. I don't listen to books very fast. I listen to like a chapter a day maybe, especially with Game of Thrones because they're like 40, 50 minutes each.
Oh, but. Okay, but like, how do you listen to a book slowly? It just goes by itself.
I mean,
you listen very small parts of it.
His time is restricted.
I listen to books typically when I'm at the office. I go for walks, which I do every like hour or 2 hours, whatever. And I walk for like 15, 20 minutes, and I listen to it on those walks. I listen sometimes when I go eat lunch or something.
Does that make it hard to follow?
Not really. I mean, Game of Thrones. Yeah,
wait till you get to book 5, then you're going to be real confused.
I mean, I did go like there was like a 3-month period where I did not listen to. I was like,
and you forgot everybody's names.
No, but in fact, not only did I go like a 3-month period, like I was in the middle of a chapter when I stopped, and I went 3 months to listen, and then I jumped back in, and within 10 minutes, I had kind of figured out the gist of where I was and what was going on, and I was like, and also like it helps that like I'm still at a point where it's like it was still kind of like there was some parody with the show, and I can like pick up context clues and be like, okay, I remember when this was happening in the show. I can kind of like figure out context clues. I think I know basically what's happening and where I am. But don't quiz me on Game of Thrones, man. I'd fail. But I'm following it closely enough that it makes sense. So
can I quiz you on things we've already talked about today in this conversation? How many Blackfire rebellions were there?
I don't know.
3, Nick. There was 3.
Are you sure you had that conversation while I was?
I said it. Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
I was not here 10 minutes ago. I stepped out of the room.
I was talking about how important the Dance of the Dragons was.
This is the first time I've heard you utter the words "Dance of the Dragons."
Yeah, I didn't call it that. I'm talking about the war
series House of the Dragon, I imagine.
All right, can we start this?
And you said we were like, we know how it ends, and you said I don't know how it ends. Like that conversation.
Well, I get it. I mean, I know about the
Nick, I'm recording,
and I know bad shit happened.
Targaryen. It's pronounced.
I am recording.
Is everybody recording?
Yes.
I've been recording, yes.
Christ.
I'm not going to stop and restart. That's absurd.
Is it that absurd, though? It takes 2 seconds.
No, he's doing it out of spite now.
Don't make me hunt for the starting point.
I'm stopping. I'm deleting, and I'm recording.
No. So Nick, are you team green or team black?
Oh.
Don't ask me
The
that.
love of God. Let's go.
I'm also still rewatching season 1, so like I really just need to like get back up to speed here.
I'm team Viserys was a dumb poopy head idiot.
Okay. Roll call starts now. Brad.
Yes.
Crispy.
Hello.
Chris Davis.
I am also here. Let's go.
Welcome back to the show.
To the podcast, y'all.
I apologize for the technical difficulties we experienced in the first segment. I don't even know. Right now, as we're recording this live, I have no idea how the audio on the actual MP3 version is going to sound, but hopefully it's okay. So anyways, welcome back. Chris Davis, I know you said in Discord today, really all you've been playing is Rise of the Ronin. Before I get into my second game, did you have any updates you wanted to add there on your time with Rise of the Ronin?
Well, I've gotten to the third map, and I have made the big decision.
Okay, you're further than me now.
You're putting the game down?
Weirdo.
No, there's a big decision that they've been leading to throughout the entire game that you had to make. And I had to make it. And I mainly made it because I wanted to romance a particular character. So,
can I just say, I'm having flashbacks to the big decision in Resident Evil 7 that Chris Davis made.
No. No.
Now I'm not so sure how I feel about that.
I mean, look, just because Zoe is a better character doesn't mean that. Anyway, like, no, this is no that. I joke when I say that about romancing a particular character. I do want to romance her, but like, also the faction that I'm going against, like, they did some dark shit that I'm not happy with.
Not okay with.
And I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go with the devil I know versus the devil who does more horrendous shit. So,
just not your literal wife, right? You're not gonna choose your literal wife. You're gonna choose some country bumpkin that you just
don't
met.
listen to them,
also...
Chris Davis. These guys are wife guys. Okay, fuck them. Who cares? Like,
wife guys.
They are wife guys.
These guys have like wives that they love and shit. Like, so stupid.
Yeah.
My God, that is fucking hilarious. Okay, so you're in the third map.
Yeah, I'm in the third map. It's
Are you still doing like the 100% shit?
Kinda, yeah. I went back and I 100%ed the previous two maps because you can do that.
That's crazy.
So
how many hours have you put into this?
I'm at like 38, I think. Something like that.
That's
actually not that bad.
Well, he definitely doesn't play. Like, I spent more time playing the game, and I'm not even on the third map yet. But we play games differently, so.
I mean, the thing you have to realize about the map design of this game is that it is spread out, but like it is also very convenient for you to go get the next checkmark item on a list for a region.
All right, let's not talk about boring shit. What's your favorite weapon style?
I really like using the polearm. Between that and Uchiganga or whatever it's called.
Uchiganga.
Yeah, just like your standard sword. Your standard sword.
Sounding like Nick over there.
Whoa, I mean, that's what they call it.
You gotta hit 10 points.
Nick's the kind of guy that calls a katana a samurai sword.
Yeah.
First of all, I said the word katana like in the last segment of this episode.
I know you did. I love you. I'm sorry.
So what I didn't find out about until like 15 hours into the game was that it does allow you to do pacifist play, like to just beat enemies but don't actually kill them. That has actually no effect on the narrative except various particular missions, and even then, the effect of that is basically just affecting your relationship with a particular character at a time, which you can easily make up by just giving them gifts and stuff like that. So it's not really like helpful or directly affecting the narrative, but I still kind of like doing it because, in my opinion, that's the more insulting way to take out an enemy.
But like,
so
to me, the best part that I mean, of the very limited amount of time I've spent with this game, my favorite part was like kind of just the feel of like, this doesn't sound real fucked up, but like the feel of cutting bitches up in the combat in this game is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I
And
still
also,
don't
that
know
does
what
sound like
weapon Chris Davis was referring to. Is it an Odachi?
The Uchiganga?
Whatever the standard sword is that they gave you, and the polearm.
Okay, so it's a
Specifically the
katana.
polearm.
Yes. Okay. I think he was referring to a specific style of katana. Okay.
Yeah. Although that being said, like the various styles that you can get of the various different weapons, like there's a lot of fun possibilities there.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I guess like, okay, so here's a Neo question for you. Okay. So Neo, when that came out, that had like 3 or 4 different weapon positions that you would use to counter enemies in combat, right?
No, well, weapons had 3 different like stances, like a low, medium, and a high stance, and there's different like combos depending on what stance you're in, and that's per weapon. Here you have just your weapon like move set, and then you switch to different styles.
Okay.
Of using the same weapon. It's not that different, except the sort of the combat triangle, the priority system didn't exist in Neo exactly. I mean, there were some enemy types where like a quicker, lower stance might be more useful than like a slower, higher, more linear stance. But you know, it's less rock paper scissors than the styles in this game, I suppose.
Okay, but like Neo did not present that information to you with like it does in
No,
right? No. Because that took me a while to figure out like what those arrows and signs meant, because they don't teach you that. There's a lot in this game they don't actually fucking teach you.
That's the game. These are all tutorials in the game. They're tutorials in the game.
Not particularly.
They teach you the red arrow down is bad, blue arrow up is good. They teach you that. It's in there.
I mean, not in the context that I'm talking about. That's what I mean.
Also, I just want to say, I'm not saying the game doesn't expressly tell you anything, but the game tells you too much. Like there's just so much to sort through to like learn any like if you're trying to find one particular piece of information, I personally just get overwhelmed very quickly trying to dig through menus trying to find specific information.
Feel like it's a relatively simple, straightforward game. Like this is the simplest game they've made. At all. Yeah, I know your experience, but yours is down in the muck a few hours in. He's played 50 fucking hours.
I did play 10 hours. Like how many 10 hours is not a significant amount enough
10,
for you?
You hit 10. I'm gonna look at that.
I did hit 10 hours, yes.
Yeah, but
it's just like the simplest game Team Ninja's made in a long time. I just don't agree with you.
And honestly, I appreciate it for that. Like I really like this combat loop. It is very forgiving. I like the parry system they've got built into there. I like the variety of weapons and the combat styles you can do. I love the freedom to go full balls to the wall engagements versus just sneaking around and assassinating everyone. Like it is a fun experience. And I am really glad that I have Nick's copy that I will eventually get back to him.
You want to just buy it from me? I'm not going to play this game again.
Really?
I think I'm done. Yeah. I think I've.
Well, I don't know. I still don't see a release date for Deca Police, Nick. Though, so you gotta.
You're right, but TGS is coming up.
Something.
I'm gonna get nervous if Deca Police doesn't get a date in at TGS.
You might have to play the extremely hotly anticipated Metaphor.
I was already interested in Metaphor. Thank you very much. Don't worry, I'm not concerned.
Yeah, but not like a Robin interested, if you know what I'm saying. I feel like this is a good. We've hit a point of understanding.
Why am I catching so many strays tonight? What is that?
You're the one talking.
It's the 800.
Look,
it's
we're
episode 800.
Talk
it's
about
the big
in a second, and they'll be catching
episode.
some strays. Don't you worry. We gotta clear some things up. So,
all right.
Actually, where are we on this? Are we ready to move on?
I have a game to talk about. I have one more game to talk about.
Yeah.
What is this, Brad? I said I got a game to talk about, and you're like, ew.
I didn't say ooh. I said oh. I thought Elden Ring was your big game.
No. I played all the way through a game this past weekend.
There was another game that dared to launch right against Shadow of the Erdtree, and it was
Still Wakes the Deep.
Oh yeah.
The new game from the Chinese
short horror
room.
things. Yeah.
Short horror narrative thing. Now here's
It's on
the thing.
Game Pass, by the way.
Hopefully, that's how I played it on
there you
Game
go.
Pass.
Good. See,
you really must think I'm dumb, Brad.
I don't think you're dumb. I think you actively buy a lot of games that you don't have to pay for because you want to play them on Steam Deck. I get it.
There have been some, but this is definitely not one of them.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad.
Yes,
I'm glad that the model is working.
I mean, for the number of Game Pass games that I actually play, I still probably feel like I'm spending more money than I would have if I just bought the games outright on Steam. But I'm just like the number of games I have played through on Game Pass probably does not justify the like $20 I'm spending every single month that I've had for like over a year. You know what I mean? Like it would just add up. I've probably spent more on Game Pass.
But I mean, you got to play more Game Pass games, I guess.
I mean, that's probably true. I constantly keep an eye on it. Anyways, I played through Still Wakes the Deep.
How was that? Very Scottish.
The new game from what did you hear? It's pretty weird.
Very Scottish.
It is very Scottish. I did not actually expect that. Like it takes place on an oil rig out in the middle of the ocean, and everybody on the oil rig is Scottish. Voice acting is great. Do highly recommend subtitles, which is actually pretty funny because they use a lot of like Scottish like jargon, and the subtitles don't even bother trying to interpret the actual jargon. They're just like, this is what it translates to in English, which is interesting. But yeah, so the Chinese Room. I guess what I can say about this game, first of all, I beat it in like 4.5 hours, right? And I wasn't really sure. I mean, the Chinese Room makes kind of a very specific kind of game, right? And for
Nick
better
is
or
like,
worse,
they're called the Chinese Room. Can this count towards my Japanese games list?
That's not at all what I. Look, the Chinese Room for me, you might know them as the team that made Dear Esther and Amnesia: Machine for Pigs, right? That's just them.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone's gone to the Rapture.
Everyone's gone to the Rapture. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, I believe, was them as well.
And they're working on the very concerning
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Okay, look. So this game, this game is basically like The Thing on an oil rig, but without the let me be very clear here. Without the like, alien can take the shape of any human being, right? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have that.
So not The Thing.
Yeah, it has the atmosphere of The Thing. It kind of has like the
paranoia,
tone.
Like Alien.
It might have more in common with Alien, but I feel like the setting just kind of makes it feel a little bit more closer to The Thing, right?
This is kind of Lovecraftian, I heard, right?
It is pretty Lovecraftian.
I've heard there's a lot of body horror.
There's a lot of body horror, right? And I've heard, going into this, I heard a lot of people talking about how it kind of like feels really good to control, and it's not just, this is a team that is very commonly associated with quote unquote walking simulators, right?
Yeah.
And I was going into this I was kind of like, I've heard good things about it being less of a walking simulator, more of like a proper horror game with like really good controls and like fluid motion and stuff, which I kind of agree and disagree on here. Because
I thought I've heard the opposite.
This also has a little bit of Alien Isolation in it, but what I will say is that I was kind of hoping that this game would end up being where it's like you're on this oil rig, that's the setting, and you can kind of explore it, kind of like you would like Resident Evil, like classic Resident Evil. They drop you into a big space, and you can kind of like move throughout and explore as needed to like achieve the objectives and stuff, while avoiding enemies and that kind of thing. It's not that. It's incredibly linear. You're pretty much on a path from start to finish. They do a pretty good.
They make narrative games, right?
They do. They make narrative games, but like I was also going into this with the thought in my mind that this is the team making working on Bloodlines 2, Vampire the Masquerade, right? Which is
concerning.
Not this kind of game. So I was like, this would be their last chance prior to Bloodlines 2 to kind of prove themselves as someone who can make a game that's maybe more mechanically heavy and or more mechanical depth, I suppose, than what they're typically associated with. And I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I feel like if anyone is anticipating Bloodlines 2, you need to like really take a step back, because
if you're anticipating
that
Bloodlines
is
2 for the reasons
an
that you
ill-fated project. That is not. I'd be very concerned about that.
If you're going into Bloodlines 2 hoping for more of Bloodlines 1, I feel like you should definitely be concerned, because that is not the kind of game.
I mean, if you're going into Bloodlines 2 expecting a good and complete game, that's where I'd be more concerned.
Sure, maybe. But look, I don't want to spend the entire time talking about Bloodlines 2. Still Wakes the Deep is pretty fucking solid. Like, even though you're on rails the entire time, it does a really good job of creating an atmosphere, putting you in really tense situations. With like, and a lot of it is like, you know how I always say, like, I hate being chased. If you hate being chased, this is not a good game for you. Like, there is a lot of like you're seeing something horrible, realizing it's coming right for you, and running the opposite direction and trying to like navigate really tight hallways. And like, as the game progresses, the ship is getting taken like more and more damage.
You play so many of these games. You realize you just like atmospheric Crash Bandicoot, right? That's all you're playing is Crash Bandicoot.
I've never thought about it that way. I've never thought about it that way. I do like atmospheric horror Crash Bandicoot, because that's a really good way of describing this. But the biggest complaint I have with this game, because it's actually a pretty complete package. Like, if you just like really if you want to like watch or experience kind of like a horror movie or a horror story that is somewhere in the realm of The Thing or even Alien, right? This is really good in that sense. But it's a game where the primary mechanic is running and navigating tight spaces to avoid monsters. And when you hold down the trigger button to run in this game, it's like it feels like you're like he's waving, like you'll see his arms like waving in front of, like he's running really fast, right? But it feels like you're in a wind tunnel running against the wind, because like the speed at which I'm moving does not feel like it matches the heft of my, like, the momentum that it seems like they're trying to create. So half the time I'm running, I'm like, go, this is not fast enough. What the fuck are you doing? Which I think is artificial to kind of like heighten your tension and fear or whatever. But like, it's really noticeable. It bothered me almost the entire game. Other than that, though, pretty cool, pretty atmospheric, like horror. Like, if you just want to vibe with a horror game, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not much to say about it beyond that, though. It's not very mechanically deep, I suppose.
But I mean, you play horror games like this all the time without much.
I do play a lot of horror games like this, and I like this kind. But like, there's some I can't even really put my finger on what it is. But like, this game is like this. Their style of game is like not as like, I wouldn't, like, I've played like, I'm thinking of like maybe Outlast, right? That's a horror game where you're doing a lot of running and hiding and stuff. But like, that game is much deeper, I feel like, than something like this. And I can't really put my finger on what it is that makes.
You got batteries and shit in that game. This is a walking sim. It's a horror walking sim.
Yeah, I mean, there's outside of like running when you need to run. Yeah, I mean, you have a flashlight. You're not managing batteries, or you're not really managing resources. You're really just kind of like trying to react on the fly and navigate situations that are terrifying. But it's pretty cool. I'll leave it at that. You know, I was kind of hoping for something more akin to like Soma, kind of because of the setting and whatnot. But it doesn't. It doesn't really.
Soma is also this type of game, right?
But Soma, I feel like Soma says, like Soma is a game that says something that that the ending of Soma stayed with me for a while. After
it was a cool sci-fi story, but like,
and it was a cool sci-fi story. But this, I feel like this is much more straightforward than that. Like, it's not. Like, I don't want to like spoil anything, but and it's just like don't go into
You're
it.
just not getting all the metaphors, Nick. I mean, come on.
I mean, I just don't think it's there, man. I don't think it's there. There's some stuff there to maybe dig into. It's just it's not as narratively satisfying as something like Soma.
You just can't take the Scottish accent seriously. And I feel
the Scottish accent is maybe one of the best parts of the game. Like, it's just like the voice acting is really good. And I mean, I'm not a Scottish person. Maybe they're actually really bad Scottish accents, and I'm just totally off key here. But
sounds like Pixar's Brave.
Was that bad?
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
I don't even think I've seen that movie. Anyways, if you're watching this, like, if you want to get an idea of like the body horror, the footage, like there's a dude down here and he's like, like in The Thing when like the monster's like not really taking when he's not taking the form of a human, it's just like this like massive like flesh and it's like sticking to things and like that's what you're dealing with a lot. And a lot of times you're in dark, really tight spaces and you're hearing this thing move and you can kind of see its shadow, its silhouette moving through the darkness and stuff. And you have to like, okay, I had to like wait and like step out into this like hallway and cross the hallway and hope that it doesn't see me, because if it does, I'm gonna have to book it and it's pitch black in here. It's a lot of that shit. So yeah.
You have like a sanity meter? What's this little like red shit on the corner?
There's the shit, like the whole Lovecraftian aspect of it is like, because you don't really know what's happened. Like, it sounds like they were drilling and they hit something when they were drilling, and now this like alien type thing is like jutted up from the ocean and like stabbed right through the rig, and it's growing and it's this like fleshy thing, and if you ever get anywhere near the fleshy thing, it starts to mess with it. You might call it a sanity meter, but it doesn't really affect your sanity. It just like kind of like, it's almost like jelly vision that like if you get too close to it, it just makes it harder to like make sense of your surroundings, which is weird. But it also has some story implications I'm not going to go into. Like other things happen when you get close to it that are more like narratively important, but they also represent that visually on the screen with the weird jelly vision looking stuff. But yeah,
tell you what, we need a new like a remake or a new version of Extermination. That was a pretty good PS2 game.
That PS2 launch game? Was that a launch game? I think it was a launch game.
It was a sweary game, I think.
Was that no?
That can't be
really?
True. I refuse.
Somebody needs to look that up right. That can't be true. But you know what? I'm actually kind of excited to see what Night Dive did with that remaster of The Thing, because like some of those, I never played that game, but like Night Dive does some pretty good stuff, and maybe that's what it needed. Maybe it just needed some polish on there, which it certainly looks like it's getting. But anyways, yeah, Still Wakes the Deep. Guys, it's like a nice 4.5, 5 hour like weekend horror game, and if you have Game Pass, it's on.
It's only about as long as this podcast.
Only about as long as this podcast. Fuck you, Crispy. Okay, let's move on. It's time. Let's talk some fantasy critic.
Yeah.
So what's there to talk about? What's there to talk about?
Contentious conversation. I'm going to let them set it up because they had a plan, and I didn't quite understand.
Who is them?
Beyond that, there was a plan.
It was a deal. It was a deal, as every deal is.
Came to a gentleman's agreement.
Hold on. But before y'all start, Nick, how much did you grok from the conversation we were having the other day?
I pieced out. I saw that y'all were arguing, and I pieced out.
The fuck is grok?
Okay. So
Someone's never read.
Collusion is against the rules, but
It's not collusion. What is a deal if not collusion?
That's a good point.
If collusion is happening behind the scenes and it's leading to unfair trades, which are also against the rules,
what is an unfair trade? Nobody, like, if both parties of the trade think it's fair.
Okay, first of all,
let me set it up as to how I saw it first.
Real quick. As a host, let me just say, Fantasy Critic, we're here to talk about the game, right? I don't necessarily want to reopen wounds that have otherwise already healed in Discord.
No. We have to get the facts.
We're
out
fine.
there. The way I saw it is a trade appeared in.
We haven't even talked about like what actually happened with when bids closed.
Fucking Carlos got Zelda, Crispy got Mario and Luigi. I accidentally picked up Dragon Age.
I got Stalker 2, which Chris
you
Davis
got Stalker 2, and I also got a Ranger. So I do want to talk about Dragon Age because it was a game that I threw out there to try to throw the scent off the games that I wanted because I don't have a lot of money, and then no one bid on Dragon Age, so I just sort of ended up with it. I really wasn't expecting that, and I kind of don't want it anymore. And
I was real close. I almost bid on Dragon Age, but I figured there was no way I was going to win it because I'm still trying to save money to do my super drop. I got to make a decision about my super drop.
Okay. I mean, the thing is, it's up for sale. I have a trade offer out for Crispy if he wants it. I've talked about Dragon Age. A lot of people out there are believing in this game way harder than me. It's not hard to find positive previews for this game. So I'm not trying to like get rid of a stinker here. I'm happy to keep it, but I also need a little bit more money. And I don't know, if you believe in the game more than I do, which apparently I'm enemy number one on Reset Era, various Discords. No one wants to hear me talk about Dragon Age. It's up for sale. The first offer was for Crispy, so he can accept it if he wants. But whatever.
What was the offer for Crispy? The most I can give you is $2 for it.
I'm offering Brad $4 for Dragon Age because he paid $3 for it.
I paid $3 for it. I didn't think I would get it. I didn't think I would get it for $3. I should have done the priorities different, but I never fucked with that.
I only have $3 to work with, so.
You only have $3 over the 40?
I have $43, and I'm thinking about using my super drop. Which I can make a decision here in the next.
Okay. Well, there's other people with more money, but whatever. Okay. So the trade appeared, which immediately set off alarm bells. And the trade was accepted right away. And this is how we knew collusion was happening, or a deal was happening behind the scenes, whatever you want to call it. It was
please don't do
Chris Davis was trading Crispy, an offer he accepted immediately. Metaphor ReFantazio, the hotly anticipated game from the makers of Persona, and the already shipped 88 Unicorn Overlord for $1. Both of those games for $1. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, Chris Davis, who is known in Fantasy Critic to be kind of unhinged and make strange choices, was like, well, he's clearly just giving up. I mean, he's giving someone an 88 that's already shipped, which is kind of priceless in terms of Fantasy Critic. He's given 2 games away. And by the way, Metaphor probably going to be like around another 88 is my guess, if not higher. He's giving them to Crispy for $1, which is one to me is like, well, he's giving up and he's doing he's hooking up Crispy because he's struggling or something. And to me, I'm like, well, you can't do that because it says right on the website, one of the rules is, obviously unfair trades, which suggests collusion, are not allowed.
That doesn't make any sense because they also say that trades do not have to be equal and need to be agreed upon by both parties.
Literally have to be equal. He was trading you an already shipped 88 for 50 cents.
Because I was going to give him a draft pick for next year. That was the additional context.
So this
was the additional
thing.
Context was that I was going to give him one of my draft picks for next year, which, by the way, if this was like any professional sport league, that would be okay. You can do that. But
First
also,
of all, I
if
don't
this
know if
was a
that's
professional
always...
sport league, the person who came in last place last year wouldn't also have to draft last this year. Like the whole thing is already a little fucking
we established
sketch.
Before we randomly rolled the order, the reason we couldn't do that is because Ed was joining this time. And when you have a new roster of players, you can't just swap the order.
Gotten the last pick then. No, it's
we left it to the gods, man. It's fine,
but it's really easy for everyone to sit there and say that when they're not the ones who have to fucking deal with
listen,
it.
Listen.
I'm getting fucking buried 2 years in a row because of a roll we made on January 2nd.
Your roll is not what put you in that place necessarily. I was second to last place last year, which I'd argue is even worse than last place because it's a snake draft, and I won.
Yeah, look, I'm not. It's like whatever. I'm not.
Brad, this is why
I'm still playing the game. Things are as they're going. The reason why I was a little punchy about it is because you can okay, fine, maybe it's collusion, maybe it's cheating, quote unquote, but it's not like. If the trade went through as is, like if I gave him $1 I would have been down to $13, and I would have had a guaranteed 88, and then another game which probably would have scored pretty well. I would have had 3 more games to fill out. I would have had 5 like 75s on my list. Like I still am in like a strong 3rd place. If that deal goes through,
we can't allow decisions based.
It's not like, yeah, but like when
because there's people
trying
to win,
it was all
money.
like. Yeah, I know, but when things were getting heated, it was all like, you're ruining the game, like, you're bombing the league. And it's like, that is obviously not what we're doing. Like, this wasn't a scorched earth strategy. So this was like, Chris Davis doesn't believe in his team anymore, and I think I can at least be competitive. Okay, and that's it. That's it.
Brad. This is exactly okay. I understand. This is what I was talking about. Like, this is why I didn't want to get into the weeds on this because y'all are just reopening the same conversation we've already.
We're not arguing. I'm telling you, we're giving you our side. Brad and I are fine. Like, we're cool. Brad and I are cool. We're not like arguing.
I don't know.
It's
what
not
we're supposed
a
to
thing.
talk about them.
What we're supposed to talk.
I just want to say we did clear this up, but the whole, it's not that. I wasn't accusing them specifically of ruining the game. It's this type of play that I've tried to avoid from the beginning. I want to run a very clean league, like a very, a league where shenanigans don't happen. It's why we don't do like mid-year counter picks. It's why we don't do.
That's great.
Yeah.
Why are we having this conversation on the podcast?
We're talking about it because it's what happened, and we're talking.
Yeah, this is
the news of what happened. We had like 1,000 message in Discord, and probably a lot of people.
I want to be clear.
Didn't want to read back through it, but this is what happened, and this is also the first time that Brad and I are talking face to face about it. Like, it's it. That's it. Look, it's not a thing. We're not like having an awful contentious argument right now. I'm explaining why I didn't think it was like. Well, I mean, I don't know. Okay, they already heard their game.
I want to use this to transition to you as the league manager. Do you know how trades work?
I mean, I have final approval over all of the trades.
Okay, you have only approval actually. So everyone puts in a vote for what they think should happen. You see that information, but ultimately you decide. The reason it's worthy to bring up on conversation is for the sake of clarity, not just for our league, but for others. People have asked me, like, I want to be clear that we're not allowing this trade. Like you as the league manager, you have to decide if you think something like this is okay. I think the idea of maybe doing some crazy shit with next year is like interesting, but I think the way you go about it is maybe much different than the way y'all did, and I think the trade has to be much more reasonable.
Hang on. Because I started this shit. Can I get in a word edgewise and explain what I did?
It seemed like Chris Davis flavor.
Can I, please? Can I talk? Okay. So, Zelda gets announced. I want Zelda. I know that I am in last place. I have 3 counterpick games, 2 of which are not coming out this year, and one probably is never going to be announced. So, I know I'm fucked. So, my first instinct is to go scorched earth. So what I wanted to do was put all my money into Zelda and just take ownership of that and take it away from everyone else. Because if I don't have a chance, fuck everyone else. Then I started thinking, and I DM'd Crispy, and I was like, and again, at the time, I didn't know about this rule about doing next year stuff. You couldn't do that this year.
In retrospect, it was kind of
unfair trades was the rule.
The only thing I knew at the time was that every other draft or league I'd ever heard of allowed this. So that's why I approached Crispy. I said, look, I will trade you Zelda when I get it. You give me a draft pick of my choice of draft picks 2 through 10, 2 through 10 of his list. Next year, I get to choose that at some point during later of the year. Okay? That's what I originally did. Saturday night rolls around. I get several DMs from Crispy, and I go look at Fantasy Critic, and I see that Carlos has fucked me. He paid $53.
Carlos's fault.
Carlos paid $53 for this fucking game.
On Zelda.
Yeah.
Honestly, if okay.
So what I decided was, well, what Crispy and I discussed and we thought was a fair exchange was, since I knew I was already fucked, I would give him Meta 4, which is my number 1, which is going to score well, and I would give him Unicorn Overlord because
originally, I think it's important to also point out, originally the deal was I was going to throw everything I could at Mario and Luigi and try to get it. Yes. I put more money than I was comfortable with after Mario and Luigi.
Yes.
He was going to put every dollar he had after Zelda, and then he was going to trade me Zelda for a draft pick to be named next year. That was the deal. When that didn't happen, we were both kind of like in red alert mode. What the fuck's going on? I was pissed because I spent all my money on a plan that now, like, you know, okay, I got one game that's maybe going to be good, like, but so what? Now I have no money to fill out the rest of my list, right?
Yeah.
So I told Chris Davis, like, all right, fine, you want to trade me this, like, surefire pick from the Persona dev in exchange to, like, make up for what I'm losing out, like what I've ostensibly lost out on. And then I was like, well, you kind of put me in a rough position with your plan, whatever.
Schemes so kind of fair.
Give me one of your scoring games too if you're out. That's how we got to where we ended up. All right, yeah. That's not where we started. And honestly, like, looking back on it in retrospect, we probably should have double-checked the fact before we even tried any of this. But yeah. I think that.
And we won't even mention the other strange places it went after that.
Okay.
Other games, but Nick, you do need to make a decision, and you do need to weigh in as the league manager.
I will make a decision, and we'll talk about it off the show. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Also,
I just want to.
You feel what?
Fantasy Critic discussions on the podcast are. I always hope they're in the service of, like, more reasons to talk or dig deeper on some of these games as to why we think they're good or why they're not going to be good.
All the time.
I know, and I think that, like, I don't know, like, it's the same sense I got from, like, the resistance to the trade, where it's like, we don't want Fantasy Critic itself to be a game. We just want it to be an excuse to talk about games, but
right.
I'm kind of trying to play it like a fucking game because it's the only way I can fucking win.
It's a gentleman's game.
What? Gentlemen don't not strategize. Like,
look, yeah. I mean,
okay,
it's
covered.
Also, if Chris Davis had just thrown all of his money at Zelda and then had nothing left to buy any other, like, I don't know how many slots he has open anymore, but if he had just been like, I'm not winning, so I'm taking Zelda, like, if what we were doing was shenanigans, that's shenanigans. Like,
but if he got it honestly, that's no big deal.
Okay,
with his money,
we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
I'm trying to move this along, and Sonji's in chat says, "Shush, Nick, this shit's my MILF manner."
Well, I mean, that's the thing. People
it is MILF manner.
This is definitely, like, for a relatively boring year in Fantasy Critic, this is definitely one of the more interesting moments.
But we barely talked about any of the games that were actually part of this huge draft week.
Yeah, but we talked about Zelda, we talked about Mario and Luigi, we talked about all the games that we picked up. We talked literally about coming out of SGF and the Nintendo Direct.
Zelda and Mario and Luigi were the two big gets.
I even talked about a Ranger today. I talked about a Ranger today.
I spent $20 on Stalker 2 because I was convinced that fucking Chris Davis was going to come for me for that, for even trying to take that off the field. I got no resistance from. I was
never going to do Stalker 2 because
I was surprised no one bid on
developer. I don't trust this new GSC game world.
I know.
I need to see.
I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised.
I know, but, like, have you been seeing a lot of this preview coverage coming out about it?
A lot of games have really good trailers and footage, man.
But, like, this is a game about you're right. You're absolutely right. But this is also a game where you're supposed to be taking into account those kinds of reactions to help you make decisions.
Yes, but you also have to understand my perspective. I have followed GSC Game World pretty closely over the years.
I know.
And if you've heard about some of the fucking shenanigans that have happened with that owner of that studio and all the bullshit that happened with Stalker 2, the original Stalker 2, like, I can't bring myself to trust this new team. I need to see it delivered.
Well, it looks a hell of a lot better than Bloodlines 2, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah, well, Stalker 2 is getting some pretty glowing review coverage, and a lot of people saying it's it's sticking remarkably close to like the survival aspect of it, where you know it's not just an action game where you're running around this open world shooting things with guns. Like it's
that sounds
it's
great.
sticking pretty, and that's what I needed to hear. It's what I wanted to hear, and everyone that played it at Summer Game Fest and wrote about it and talked about it has been pretty glowing about it. So I finally decided.
I think it's a good pickup for you, Nick. I mean, I feel like your roster is definitely filled up with like pretty big blockbustery games.
But now I have $43, and I'm trying. I have 5 days.
How many slots do you have left? How many slots do you have left?
I have 1 slot.
Are any of them at risk of not coming out? All you need is $1.
I mean, Deca Police.
Okay, well, so you need $2. I mean, that's the thing. Like, so one of the reasons, you know, I'm offering Dragon Age up for sale is because I want to make sure all my games actually ship. So my question is, does Crispy want? Oh well, he's gone. Is me selling Dragon Age okay? I mean, you have to approve the trade, and if Crispy,
I mean, I would offer to buy it from you if I had the money, but like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use my, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use my super drop, and Crispy has already outbid the max I have.
I'm like, and the Dragon Age, look, I think I want to do it. I think I want to do it just because of the shape I'm in, and just because I already feel like I need to start just like doing stuff. I don't know, and I don't know that I have the patience, the temperament, or the luxury of just waiting around for a whole bunch of good
for jimmies,
cheap jimmies. Yeah, I just like Dragon Age is a gamble. I understand that, and I'm giving up $4 of my $14 to buy it. Okay?
I would love that $14.
I don't want $4. I don't want to give you $14. I want to give you $4. Look,
no.
If it doesn't work out,
not...
no, I know.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
No, the truth is, I think Dragon Age is going to be fine, but like, I think it's probably.
I think it's gonna be fine too, and like, I'm paying for it after watching those previews and being kind of like, I don't know, this looks weird. Like, when you said it looked like Kingdoms of Amalur, I was like, that's what I was thinking of. Like, that was the game I was trying to think of. That I'm like, what does this look like? And it was that. But
I want to be very clear that previews out of SGF,
I know,
were glowing.
And it's one of those franchises where like people just really like people just like Dragon Age, and like
Inquisition's high 80s. That's crazy to me.
I don't know. That is crazy, but also, like, do I think this is going to do better than Inquisition? I don't know.
I don't think it's going to do better than Inquisition, but I think it's certainly going to do better than Dragon Age 2. Right?
This year, I have been nailing 75s, okay? Like, if I'm picking up a game, it's a 75. Like, I don't know what the fuck that's all about. Honestly, I think this could be a similar situation.
If Dragon Age scores a 75 or lower, I'll take it back.
Like the deal so you're saying,
well, but if I have no room on my roster, I can't take $4.
No, you'll have to trade something. You'll have to trade something off of your list.
You'll have to trade something higher than a 75 for me to do that.
But one of the reasons I want to get rid of Dragon Age is because I think it'll come out this year, but it doesn't have a solid date, and I can't afford to have games without solid dates on my list. Yeah. I mean, it's a free drop.
No, I get that.
And they'll, of course, announce a delay, but I don't want any games that could get delayed on my list because I'm still worried about like Silksong and shit. So I just need a little bit of money. That's why I'm making the deal. Whatever.
I'm still,
okay.
You know, whatever.
Well, accept the trade.
Listen, if you want to, no, hang on. Like, you look me in the digital representation of my eyes right now.
Yes.
If I give you $4, you give me Dragon Age, and Dragon Age scores under a 75, you trade it with another game on your list that's 75 or higher. It can be a 75, but it's got to be at least 75 or higher.
It's a good joke, but I don't want to tank my lead for the sake of the joke.
I mean, that's.
And look,
I'm saying I don't not believe in that game that much. It's gonna do better than that.
Brad, look me in the eye. My digital eyes.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable giving you $2 for Dragon.
No, he's giving me $4. I want $4.
But without the caveat that you have to take it back if it gets less than a 75.
Crispy. I want more than $2 though.
Okay. Hey, if that's a deal,
I'm only saying that because I need to hold on.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it just because that's spicy and not unreasonable. That's spicy. If it's 75 or lower, I'll take it back and I'll give you my next lowest scoring game above a 75.
Watch it. Watch the next lowest score.
And let me tell you,
like 80,
I draft games
Deal.
thinking they're going to be 85 or higher. So I'm worried I might not have a game scoring.
Deal.
All right.
I'll take it.
Here's what I'll do.
Hey, this is not a good deal for me. Dragon Age is a good pickup.
Look, and here's the deal.
Okay, you know what? Just because it's a gentleman's game, what if I give you $5 instead of
Ooh, okay, $5. I'm in.
Okay, look, and when that deal goes through, I'm gonna put a message on our critic that shows up at the top there that says
Brad just lost the league.
There's a gentleman's agreement that if Dragon Age scores less than a 75, he has to trade Sling for more than a 75 and take back Dragon Age.
Okay.
All right, look, I'm gonna reject the one. I'm gonna reject the one that you sent me. And I'm gonna do a $5.
All right, this is how deals are made. Okay, guys, we need to move on. So, thanks for sticking with us. Let's do it. Let's wrap up the show with the 4-player minute.
All right.
Brad, you start.
I have one. It's one I keep forgetting to bring up, and I know I'm the only person on the planet who's going to bring it up, and I feel bad already for this game, but I'm excited. So, Cappy Games, good old Capybara. I do love me some Cappy. Makers of really cool games like Super Time Force. Love me some Super Time Force. But of course, my baby Might and Magic Clash of Heroes. You know I love it. I mean, Cappy's made some really cool indie games over the years. I don't know. I feel like maybe in recent years they've been struggling a little bit. Below was like one they were in development for a long time, and I think it didn't quite hit. But Grindstone came out for when Apple Arcade dropped, and Grindstone's really cool. Anyways, they announced their new game, and it's called Battle Vision Network. This was part of the Day of the Devs, Battle Vision Network. They're taking Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, which had a multiplayer mode, but it wasn't really like super balanced, and it was a little too long. Like the game, great. Like the core mechanics of Clash of Heroes is so fucking good. Like a brilliant puzzle strategy game design. I still think it's like one of the best hidden gems out there. And the multiplayer mode's like perfect for it, but it wasn't. Like the matches would take a little bit too long. Anyways, they're making a multiplayer only, like basically a spiritual successor to Might and Magic Clash of Heroes that's focused on making that taking that multiplayer experience and making it like quicker, more streamlined, but still those same core mechanics where you're kind of lining up units like match 3 style, and they're either making walls or like units that are going to attack. Yeah, exactly. And it's called Battle Vision Network, and it's got a cool look to it, and it's going to be, in Steam and Switch and mobile even, I think, and it's going to be like I went in their Discord, they're saying like they're aiming for like 5-6 minute matches or whatever, which is good for a game. I already asked for, are you going to have asynchronous, take your turn and have a bunch of games going at once, and then you can just get to your games when you have a chance, which I want so much from multiplayer games that I like the Words with Friends. Y'all have all played Words with Friends, right? You take your turn, you can have multiple games going. I wish more games had that mode. I want it so bad. I would play so many more multiplayer games if I could just do my turns when I had a chance, and then I could wait on other people. But I don't think it's that. I don't think it's built like that. But anyways, I love Clash of Heroes. I'm glad it's coming back. I hope that this somehow weirdly catches on, but honestly, I worry about any game these days. But it's one that I feel like I had to shout out. I think it looks cool. It's called Battle Vision Network. Watch a trailer. I should have put I keep forgetting to put the trailer on Trailer Talk. Damn it. Maybe next week I'll put the Battle Vision Network trailer on there, or maybe I had it on there weeks ago. No. Or maybe after. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I just want to shout out that, and real quick, I just want to shout out that I've been playing some more Rebirth, but I've been like, what does this game feel like if I just do the story, just the critical path? Literally, don't even get chocobos. You don't have to do any of that. So much of that game is optional. It is crazy. So many of the pain points that people have said playing through that game of like I've been pulling my hair out on this mini game and getting this chocobo and doing this stealth sequence. That shit's not really there at all, as if you just do the crit path story game. And at the end of the day, that really is what I'm there for. And I think a lot of people are there for. And it's kind of nice to play it that way. It's still like a weirdly paced game with like overly long dungeons just because you kind of move slow. But like I've been kind of moving through it, and there's some really cool moments. Like Yuffie singing her theme song, like with words while chilling. That was.
I'm looking forward to going back to that.
That was charming, man. It's a cool game. It's a cool game. And if I had more time and I was like a teenager, I'd probably be doing everything. But I'm enjoying it more, not doing the grind of the open world stuff. So yeah,
I probably missed it. Where'd you say you were in the game?
Where am I right now? I'm in posts. I'm heading to Nibelheim.
Oh, okay, so you're like in the jungle area?
No, I'm past Cosmo Canyon. I'm heading to Nibelheim. Do you know what Nibelheim is? It's like the most important location in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I just forgot that Nibelheim was after Cosmo Canyon. Yeah,
after Cosmo Canyon.
Yeah,
because isn't there a point where you're in Nibelheim? Never mind. I'm
in the story when you go there in the main timeline. Yeah,
right. Okay,
I will say Nibelheim probably has the most fun version of the chocobos, so that's something to look forward to.
You don't need them. You just don't need them.
But do you want them? All right.
No, they're bad in this game. I don't like the chocobo.
Crispy.
Well, right now I'm like fully focused on Final Fantasy 14. Going into Dawn Trail. I don't have any money, so I haven't pre-ordered it. So I'm probably not gonna.
You could be playing this game in 3 days.
Well, no, I can't because I'm not done with the fucking MSQ.
Or that.
Yeah, so probably a waste to try to take advantage of the early access period. But yeah, I mean I don't know. That's all I got at the moment. I think I'm digging in here for a while and maybe try to squeeze in some Like a Dragon, because I swear to God, I swore to myself I was gonna play Infinite Wealth before the end of the year, and
I've also been playing more Infinite Wealth than it.
But
yeah,
but hey, who knew it was already the fucking end of June, huh? Like
we're halfway there.
I hate everything. So I don't know. We'll see. Right. We'll fucking see.
Fair enough.
Well,
cool.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, then, Chris Davis, it is your turn.
So I'll try to be quick. Last week I was kind of staggered because I forgot what I was actually going to do for my 4-player minute, but I remembered after the show, so I'm going to do it now. I did not go through the results of our predictions episode we did several weeks ago before Summer Games Fest happened, and I've got them now. I wanted to share them with you.
It was brutal. I don't think any of us...
I think Nick won because he said no to everything.
Actually, you would... So this was surprising. So, just to be clear, it was myself, Nick, and Brad that participated. I invited Chris, Nolan, and Ed, and I guess they didn't do it.
I mean, it wasn't Chris Davis.
Yeah. No. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't... Yeah, I couldn't...
That's okay. That's okay. So, for Summer Games Fest, the results
we're not going
were...
through these one by one, right? We're just...
Oh, I'll be real quick. So... I got 9 right. Nick got 15 right. Brad got 16. For the Xbox, I got 3. Nick got 6. Brad got 8. For Ubisoft, I got 5. Nick got 8. Brad got 6. And for Nintendo, I got 4. Nick got 8. And Brad got 7. Which leads to me getting 22. Brad getting 38 and Nick getting 39.
Oh, yes. I'm gonna be honest.
Stupid negative
numbers. All of those numbers you just said sound really high. But okay.
39 out of 57 predictions. That's honestly pretty good.
What is happening?
They were all no.
In the year of our Lord, when am I being the negative Nancy and winning?
What? The year you decided to play Japanese games.
Yeah.
Well, there's a correlation there. There must be a correlation. Well, thank you for adding all those up. That was brutal. Okay. Anything else you wanted to add for your minute before, or is that?
No, unless you want to talk more Fantasy Critic. I don't think we want to do that right now.
Nope, I'm good. Look, I don't have anything specific I want to talk about right this second. So what I will do is I'll highlight a game that's kind of have my eye on, and this is a game that I don't feel necessarily confident enough to like bid on in Fantasy Critic, so I feel like it's fair game here. But it's coming out next month apparently. I didn't even realize it had a date. But there's a game called Nobody Wants to Die coming on PC next month from Critical Hit Games, and it's like a futuristic cyberpunk detective game that's like made in Unreal Engine 4 or something, and or are we on 5?
We're on 5.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5, and it looks fucking beautiful, and I don't know. It just, I love me some detective, like a game that's built around detective mechanics.
Games?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna bid on this game because it could literally be anything. But it's like you're like manipulating time with like twisting, like you're going into like these crime scenes and shit and like rewinding time and stuff and like figuring out what happened in the crime scene. Very kind of like Arkham-esque, I suppose. A little bit of Arkham, a little bit of Condemned in there, but like also with like the futuristic cyberpunk and like maybe even some open world elements. I don't know. It looks pretty rad. I'm not gonna like hold my breath because this is from a relatively unknown studio, I believe, in I think Poland. But it definitely looks like my jam, and it's coming out next month, so I have my eye on it. I'm probably gonna give it a shot.
I'm getting Atomic Heart vibes from it. But I will say the Steam screenshots here.
Heart, one of my favorite games of 2023.
I mean, I'm not knocking it for that. I'm just saying, like, the screenshots that they have on their Steam page feel very much like bullshots. So
I'm watching a trailer of it right now on Steam with like the game in motion. It's a beautiful looking game.
Screenshots? What are you, Nick?
You're right. It's one of those games you look at and you're like, this looks like it may be quote unquote too good to be true. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Yeah.
But like, I felt that way about Atomic Heart all the way up until I was playing it, and then I was like, oh my god, it's everything I wanted.
It's true.
So
it was a video game.
I have my eye on this. It was a damn good video game. I still have to play that new DLC. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got.
That's the move, by the way, Nick. That's the move. Snub the Elden Ring DLC and play the Atomic Heart DLC. I like it.
But
yes, be the man you were born to be, Nicholas.
But why? I'm not snubbing it. I've already played like 8 hours of Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah, and next week that tall tale is gonna become 10 hours. But we know the truth.
You should quit on stream and be like, "Oh, this is bad design. It's too hard."
I'm gonna go play Atomic Heart.
I'm 130 hours into Elden Ring. I feel like I've earned my stripes here. Okay.
No. I was making a reference to.
I mean,
other streamers.
But I also have. I just finished 9 Souls. I've beaten all the Dark Souls games. Like, what do I got to do to prove myself?
You don't finish enough games, Nick. You need to finish more.
You shut your
mouth. No time for Baldur's Gate. You gotta keep going.
The truth is Nick, no matter what you say, no matter what games list you provide, no one's ever gonna believe you. That's just part of the meme with you.
All right, kill it.
That's it, guys. That's our show. Thank you for sticking with us. 800 episodes. Here's to 800 more. Of course, guys, if you're not a member of our Discord, please, we'd love to have you there. Jump in at discord.gg/4Player. We'd love to hear from you. Pop into that introductions channel, say hello, maybe tell us what you're playing. That's a great way to. That's a great icebreaker. We're always curious about that. And stick around, hang out, talk about video games and such, or post pictures of your pets in the Pet Pics channel.
Do that. Definitely do that.
But anyways, thanks for listening. We'll be back next Tuesday night, which is when we record these things live on Twitch and YouTube. But in the meantime, y'all be good to each other. Play video games. Good night.
Bye. Okay.
Hooray!
Save project.
Another successful show.
What's up, Sardunos?
Hey, is Joseph here?
That is the Joseph Christ.
Who the Joseph?
Oh my god.
I do that sometimes. I'll like drop into places I used to visit years ago going, it feels weird. And then I peace out.
Yeah.
And I come back years later.
Yeah, like this is wrong. I've grown beyond this.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, Joseph.
That's how
Joseph, I miss you so much and I love you.
You do.
Don't worry, Joseph. None of us realized it was the 800th show until we got here tonight either.
No, we didn't have anything
seriously,
prepared.
We do love and miss you.
No.
Nick, are you playing?
Joseph, what do you think that new Dragon Age is going to score?
75.
No, we're asking Joseph.
I honestly think it has a good chance at like a fucking mid-80s. Honestly,
we record on Tuesdays now.
I'll fucking do a goddamn little dance.
I really do believe it.
Don't forget to upload your files tonight, guys.
Hey, Nick. Are you and Robin playing on PS5 with Shadow of the Erdtree?
No, she's playing on Xbox. I'm playing on PS5.
Oh yeah, she's an Xbot. I forgot about that.
She's an Xbot. Yeah.
She's an Xbot, and she doesn't take offense when you call her one.
She's like, she's on social media defending Xbox every day.
I got to talking with a coworker today, and she's put like 400 hours into Elden Ring, and she's been so hyped for the DLC.
Sounds like Robin.
She said she was really having fun playing with her fiance, and I was like, well, what do you play on? PS5? No, I play on PC. Oh, so y'all play the seamless co-op mode. What's that? And
is seamless co-op mode?
Co-op mod.
I accepted the trade. Crispy.
It is done.
Yeah, it's a mod on PC that you can basically you can play the entire game without having to summon people, only at bosses.
That sounds. I don't know.
Convenient and fun.
No, it sounds like it's subverting the point of the whole game.
Well,
play with up to 6 people.
Miyazaki was talking about it in an interview recently. Like someone asked him about the seamless co-op mod, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, we just never really thought that people would be into it, but we're not opposed to it." Like, so.
Well, there you go.
What does that mean? People wouldn't be into it? Shut up.
Yeah, I don't know, but he was like, he didn't care that people were using the mod and had said like, yeah, maybe we'll do that in our next game, make it more seamlessly co-op.
That's so unhinged, right? Because like the whole idea with Miyazaki is that everything he does is like for a reason, and he wants to make things hard and obtuse and obscure and
yeah.
It's like, like, oh, multiplayer is the way that it is for a reason because Miyazaki wants the experience to be as such.
Well,
so for him to go, I guess if y'all want it, sure, whatever.
But it's been 10 years since Demon Souls. It's like maybe your fucking idea of, it's like, okay, we did it, and evolve a little bit, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying that seamless co-op.
That's the assumption that what his design is something that even is archaic or whatever, which isn't necessarily the case.
I don't think it is archaic, but it is like we've done it this way for 10 years, and maybe the only reason we're still doing it like that is because that's just how we've done it. It's okay to like stop and reevaluate and say like, okay, well maybe our next game we won't do that. Maybe that'll be part of the vision we build around next time, is this idea that people can be seamlessly co-oping in the world and exploring together instead of... I mean, because like Elden Ring kind of chafes against that a little bit. Like, it does make more sense in Dark Souls, it does make more sense in Bloodborne where things are a little more linear, but like in Elden Ring it's like you're doing a lot of like summoning people and then like exploring a dungeon that you just happen to run into off the side of the road, it makes sense to me, and in Elden Ring it feels more like a holdover.
Joseph,
but, I don't know.
Joseph, what do you think about this Space Marine 2? What's that going to score? So the thing is, people love the first Space Marine, and that looked good. That looked good in trailers. That's still, what did that score? What did the first Space Marine?
Probably like a 75.
So like, why is this one like people are popping off so hard? Is because the visuals?
Well, I don't think it's just the visuals. I think it's also like, they're like the main threat is the Tyranids, and they're building it out so that like you're actually fighting legitimate like hordes of Tyranids, like millions of them at a time. Like, yeah, like that looks fucking cool.
Yeah,
like,
Saber Interactive started publishing games because I want to see the, Chris Davis. I gave you homework weeks ago saying I want you to find out what team is developing Space Marine 2 and what did they develop before.
You gave me homework?
Oh,
yes, I gave you fucking homework and you said yes, I'll do it. I'll look into it.
I don't recall this ever happening, but okay.
Okay, well I'm giving it to you now.
Okay,
find out the information on the team that is working on Space Marine 2. If it's an internal Saber team, I want to know what projects that team worked on. Is it the people that made the Evil Dead game, the World War fucking Z game? Is it the people that made the fucking Mud Runner fucking game? I doubt it, right? Who is making Space Marine 2? That's what I want to know. I want to know the director, the fucking creative director, whatever. I want to know.
I want them dead. I want their families dead.
I want their families dead.
I want to make sure that this game isn't gonna do like crazy numbers because that's not good.
A man's gotta have enthusiasm.
First fucking Warhammer game, non-strategy Warhammer game to get like a fucking high 80s. Like we're not heading into that territory, right? It's still Saber Interactive.
So this is
not a good.
Dude, Warhammer 40K has officially joined the culture war, so maybe we'll get a nice little bump in review scores.
I mean, wasn't 40K Warhammer always part of the culture?
Yeah, it was, but then they changed some of the lore so that like a certain faction can have female members now, and people are having a real normal one about it.
How dare they? Bunch of Mary Janes, am I right?
Yeah.
My gut instinct for this is an uneducated guess. Is that
I want
it
research?
Is
if this was an Eastern European developer, you would know their children's names.
No, I know their spouses, but not their children. Look, what I'm suggesting is that it's probably the development team that did the World War Z games, which those were pretty all right.
But they also did that Evil Dead game, right?
World War Z came out.
They also did that Evil Dead game, right? There's so many.
I'm sure it's not great.
They
but people
published the Evil Dead game. They did.
They published. I thought they devved it. I think they devved it. Yeah, they devved it. I'm looking at their website.
Okay.
So I don't think it's the fucking SnowRunner people, right? There's also they made the Ghostbusters video game.
Wait, which one? Which one?
No, just a remaster. Just a remaster.
Okay.
I mean, Saber Interactive, they've done a lot of ports, remasters. I mean, they're not their main.
I mean, you gotta get called up to the big show sometime, right? Like.
What's wild card football?
You know, like fucking Spike Jonze used to do music videos. Well, he still does music videos, but
I think you're right. I think it's got to be the World War Z people.
Yeah,
like those aren't good games.
Actually, they are.
People like them, but they don't like. They don't like score well or anything, right?
I mean, they scored low 70s. The initial game scored low 70s. Let me look up the aftermath because I hear that was better.
Crazy. 67 on Metacritic.
Really?
All right,
Aftermath?
guys, I got to go.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what Aftermath is.
Aftermath was like the standalone expansion.
I approved and rejected trades.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, Aftermath scored better, but there's so few reviews.
Bye, Joseph.
Yeah.
Bye, Joseph. Oh, bye, everybody.
Later.
Okay. Well, good trading.
I should have asked Nick if he gave approval for our trade, Crispy, because if that's the case, then okay.
He's not going to give approval. He just didn't want to tell y'all on the podcast.
He's not going to approve.
Okay. Well,
the last time Chris Davis wrapped me up in one of his little fucking schemes.
So, Crispy, I do want to apologize because I did not know this was a thing. I thought this was a legitimate thing that I thought we could do. So
if you hit it a little better,
I sincerely apologize.
I don't know. I feel like whatever. I'm gone.
All right. Well, it's okay. It's okay. It happens.
Okay.
Live and learn, right?
I feel bad, but okay.
It's okay. You should. Okay. No, we're good. All right. I'm out of here. Have a good night.
Okay. Night, man.
Bye.
Okay, and I guess that's it for me too. Tally, do you think it's time to go to bed? It's 11 o'clock. I work from home tomorrow, but it's okay. You're just laying there. And you don't care. Well, you got those sleepy eyes, though. You're a little sleepy. You're trying to fight it. I see it. Okay, guys. Well, yeah. Like I said, I legitimately thought I could do that trade. I didn't think it was a problem, but whatever. Okay. Anyway, y'all have a pleasant evening. I need to get ready for bed. I'll see y'all on Discord. Go into the pets channel and post pet pics, people, because everyone has cute pets, and they need to be shared with the world. Please. So, anyway, y'all have a good night. Bye.